So Africa, a place where poverty and pandemic diseases are originated, the least wealthy continent per capita, the land where the only things to be found are animals, corrupted leaders, poor kids, dirty water and civil wars, people who are in need for help, donations and support, aka the NGO's motherland. For others, honestly, Africa is just a very hot, dark and sad place everyone wishes to escape one day. Well, whether you're an African or not, this thinking isn't new to you, because you have read, heard or felt the same way before. Just type the word Africa on Google right now. Turn on your TV and see what the NGOs portray. Watch movies from Hollywood. Ask your mama, friends, or ask yourself, what is Africa? Yet if you're still struggling to believe, let me ask you this. What comes to your mind when you hear the word Africa? Tell me the first thought that comes to your mind right now. Honestly, tell me right now. But what really is Africa? What is Africa? Listen, there are many theories about the name, but one that is close to the truth is Al-Kebulan. This name translates to Mother of Mankind, or according to other sources, the Garden of Eden, the place where love, peace and unity dwells. Al-Kebulan is an extremely old word. Many nations in Africa use this word, including Ethiopians, Nubians, Moors and Numidians. For me, this isn't just the theory, but the truth. My truth I choose to believe in. As cliche as it sounds, that's the future I'm hoping for. The tomorrow I'm fully determined to see. The dream I am convinced and dedicated to fighting for until it happens. What is Africa for you?
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you're connecting from. I know you are in Asia, it's morning. If you're in East Africa, it's morning time. But if you're in Central Africa, it's midnight. And if you are in West Africa, it's still 10 p.m. In other parts of the world, it's still daytime. I know if you're in the US, it's in the afternoon, especially if you're in the eastern part of the US, it's still afternoon, late afternoons. So welcome. This is the weekly recap, and I'm your host, Ezra. My name is Ezra, and as you know, I'm your host for the weekly recap. And today, just a twist of things. As you know, family, we could have had this live stream earlier, but I opted not to do it then because I had to do other things. I had other commitments, and I didn't want to be sidetracked. So I wanted my full attention to be here, give my whole when doing this. So hence, we started this time. And as I always say, that the weekly recap, some days we'll do it earlier, some days we're going to do it a little later. Sometimes just looking at other things, other factors. So, but we will have a live stream regardless. So, yeah, it's good being here, and just want to thank the Lord for giving us this opportunity to join and be with you, family. I'm just going to start with prayer, and then we can start the business of the day and really discuss issues that have been happening, upcoming shows, announcements. And then we can really just talk about anything that comes to mind, things that we should be discussing, or things that are of interest, or things that are happening, developing stories, developing news. We need to catch up on that as well. And I saw some people that have been speaking about Burkina Faso, about the coup that's been happening, or some tension that's been happening in Burkina Faso. And if somebody wants to come, I think Brother Rich is very passionate about West Africa. If he can come tonight, and we can really talk about it as well. So, But I'm going to start with prayer, and then we can really start the business of the day and discuss different things, different conversations, and have different conversations regarding the issue in Burkina Faso, and just discuss maybe a lot about West Africa, especially like Mali, all developing stories around West Africa, meaning the ECOWAS region. We've really seen a lot of military coups in this year. Between last year, from 2020 to this year, we've really seen a lot of military coups happening in that part of our continent. And I really love us to talk about it as well. Mali, Guinea, obviously Burkina Faso as well, with the instabilities, the insurgencies in those areas. We need to discuss those. We need to really talk more about it and see what's happening there. And again, it's a Friday. Man, we can take it easy and really just, have a good time, laugh, have a, do other things. But anyway, I'm just going to open with prayer, and then let's get down to the issues that I've just raised today. Thank you, our Heavenly Father, for this night that you've blessed us with. Thank you as we'll be discussing different topics, as we'll be sharing, as we'll be speaking to, learning from one another. I ask that your spirit and your grace will be with us, that we all sharpen one another. May we be iron to others. May we be the iron that sharpens the others, and may we be sharpened as well. In Jesus' mighty name I pray. Amen. So thank you, family. Thank you. Thank you very much. For those who've joined us, good to be here. You're welcome. Just a few things, as you all know. If you've just joined us, please go and click the like, subscribe, turn on the notification if you're new here. And if you're a returning subscriber, you already know, you just go and click that like button, and then drop the comment. Anything that you want us to talk about, drop that comment right there, and then we can really, catch up and really have a good time. Hey, I see some people have already dropped some comments. I see Marit. Marit, have a good weekend. Yeah, have a good weekend. I know it's a bit late for some people, especially those who are, for some people it's already late. For some people it's still early. We still, for the most part, East Africa, people who are in East Africa, I know it's really late. It's like 1 a.m. in the morning. Central Africa, it's just after 12. So it's already morning as well. But it's early morning in Asia. His Excellency and GP there representing us in Asia. I know it's probably they are waking up if they are not awake. I know they also do not sleep. But yeah, Happy Ahmed. Hey, Happy Ahmed. Yeah, you must come and join us one of these days, Happy Ahmed. I know it's really early. It's really late for most people. Others are going to rest. And some people, I know you are waking. You are either doing your project, you're studying, you are doing your business. We know different people, and others are just resting. Others have gone out. It's a weekend to have fun. Others are at church. So people are all over the world, and others are just, it so happens that you're at home, and this is the best place to be around this time. What will we be doing? Watching movies? Let's talk. Come and engage in a real life interactive show instead of where you're just being fed information only. But come and talk to people who are awake, who are talking, who love to really hear from you as well. So yeah, join us. Thank you, Regmon, grace and peace, brother. Grace and peace. Good to see you. Rosa, hi, Rosa. And obviously, as you all know, we have our biggest project. Is the Gofundme page, or Gofundme project for our offices. I know His Excellency Maker during the week he showed you guys the roadmap in terms of A lot of things that have already been done: registration of the organization, registered bank account, created, tax clearances, all those things. I mean, we just now, the main thing, and the website is loading. We're almost done with our website. So stay tuned. Soon we'll be launching our website, and you guys can really go direct to our website, see anything, whether it's announcement, whether it's upcoming projects, whatever. You'll be able to reach us there, whether it's something that you want to purchase, something that you want to partner with. You'll be able to really get the full details right there. So yeah, and another thing, in fact, the biggest thing, obviously, as I said, the only thing that we're still lacking behind in terms of all our set plans for this year, the website is 95% complete. The organization has been registered. It's legal, registered obviously in Tanzania. It's registered, government approved. We've got a bank account for the organization, Swahili Nation One Africa. We've got a bank account. We are a registered organization. We are not just, yay, we are here on YouTube. No, it doesn't end there. We're doing things professional. We're doing things proper as well. So you're not going to just get us on YouTube only. We're trying to get offices. We're trying to make sure that we organize ourselves. We are Africans that are organized. We're not one of those Africans who are not organized. So that's why we want to do things proper and do things according to the laws of the country. We don't want to do things like as we please. No, we want to do things proper. We want to have a proper organizational plan. In fact, those things are all in the plans. It's already drafted. It's already we are rolling out everything. Website, email has been created. And there'll be more emails, obviously, that you will be able to send stuff, whether it's inquiries or it's questions, or you want to come to the show, you want to visit us and stuff. So stay tuned. There's a lot that we'll be doing in the coming months, weeks, days. So, but the main thing, one of the biggest things up that's coming is our own website. So as you already know, the organization Swahili Nation One Africa, that's already been registered with the government in Tanzania. Bank account as well registered. The revenue services in Tanzania already cleared that. So, I mean, we are moving, family. We are doing things. We are not just sitting here. We're not coming here to come and beg. Oh, please, Gofundme. No, but we are working in the background. And a lot of things, a lot of work that's been done, especially by the team and His Excellency Mika as well, especially His Excellency Mika having to run around for us, for all of us, I mean, on the ground. He's the man who's on the ground. And also one of our hosts for Swahili sessions, Brother Paul, Justin. Also people on the ground that have been really running around to make sure that the organization has been registered and it's a legal entity. We're not just running around on the internet space, but we are a registered organization where we remain, we're doing things according to the law and we're following all the procedures that are out there. So take note. We are an organization, a registered one, account opened, revenue services cleared. Some people call it tax clearances and stuff in their countries, but yeah, that's basically what so far that we've done. Oh, and then our website, as I already said, our website is 95% complete. Soon we'll be launching the website and you'll be able to go direct to Swahili Nation One Africa website, see everything right there. I mean, all the breaking news, upcoming shows, anything that will be coming from us. So that's one thing. A few things that we've already done. Since this year, it's also a year of action. We didn't just say we just a Swahili Nation, One Africa. No, but it's a year of action as well. A year of peace, love, peace, and unity. And then action is also part of our motto for this year. So we are doing things, and so yeah, please stay tuned. Continue following us. Continue watching our videos that we upload. Continue watching all the live streams. Every night we have a live stream every night. So join us, and support this movement. So as we all, besides that, the main thing, as I said, where we're lacking behind in terms of all the things that we need to do is our Gofundme page. Still way behind. When you look at our page, we're really behind in terms of the raising of funds or the pledges. And we ask that family, please continue pledging. If you've pledged before, continue pledging. I mean, challenge yourself to pledge. I'm just going to share obviously the link and the link where you can place your pledge, and then €5 or almost like $5. The euro dollar exchange is almost 1-to-1. So €1, I think it's almost it's almost 1-to-1. So €5 or $5. Support us, family. Support us. So that would be really nice that we can really push the offices, because this pledge is for us to get offices set up and a studio for our program or our platform. So that's why we need funds for this. We're not just saying this just to look fancy or anything. We want to raise funds so that we can have offices where you will start having a proper studio where we can do live streams or do interviews, and also start building more content, diversify our content. So we're not just going to be live here only, but we want to create a lot of diverse content, documentaries, stories, movies, whatever, man. We need to do more. We want to do more, but all those things we want to share as time goes by. Other plans that we want to do, why we want to have a studio set up, why we want to have offices. But partly is for us, obviously, now as a registered entity, we need to have an address, a business address, where you can find us. If you come to Dar es Salaam or you come to Tanzania, you'll be able to reach us. You can really book an appointment, come to our offices. If you want to collaborate with us, you want to come and edit some of your work, or there's a project that you want to collaborate with us, you'll be able to come there in Tanzania and in Dar es Salaam, to be specific, that we can really work together. And even some of the people, I mean, you might be a fan, you might be a subscriber, you might be a family of Swahili Nation One Africa, and then it will be really nice to see you guys, coming, and also promoting tourism. As you know, Tanzania is also a great destination to visit. You need to visit Tanzania. There's a lot in Tanzania to visit. It's not, from Dar es Salaam, you've got the sea, and you're just a few minutes away from Zanzibar. You know, you can take a ferry or boat, whatever, go to Zanzibar. Go and enjoy. Come back to Swahili Nation offices. Come and say hi. Come and relax with us. Come and have coffee with us. So let's do that, man. Let's do that. So that would be really nice to see that us growing as a family. We are taking you as a family. We don't want you to just be a subscriber that just subscribe for the sake of subscribing, or we're forcing you, please subscribe to our channel. No, it's not about that. We are building a family. So we want you to be part of the Swahili Nation One Africa family. Grow with us. Watch us. Watch our content. Support our content. Give us suggestions on how we can even make our content better. Even the live streams, how we can make it better. Even interviews, how we can make them better. More new content, how we can create new content. And other contents that might be of your interest. Send us, emails, speak to us. Send on the comment section. Also, drop those comment section. On the comment section, drop those information. You can just say, hey guys, please do this. Please watch out for this and all that. And one of the things that I also want to highlight is some people might have seen the logo. We've changed the logo as well. So there's been a lot of work being done in the background. There's been a lot of things going on. So please, family, continue supporting us. Continue being here. Grow with us. Be part of the family that can say in 2020 or 2022, 2021, I was with Swahili Nation. I started following them. And this year, Swahili Nation is a big channel. They're doing ABC. Be part of that family where you can be, you can have archives of our history as a program and as a channel, how we've evolved. And I'm sure most of you have seen how we've evolved over the years to now. I mean, from mostly reviews and reactions to live streams to now focusing on African issues, diaspora issues. You know, you've really evolved so much. So continue subscribing, continue liking, and move with us. Do not subscribe and forget about us. You know, we don't want that. We want people that will, when we say we have 20 million subscribers, we can really know that it's 20 million people who are a family, not just people who are just passing, just subscribe. Let me just support these guys and subscribe to them, give them a number. No, we want you to grow with us. We are growing organically. Thank God we're going ahead, and we want you to be part of that growth. We are not, we are here because you are here. We are here for one another. So let's build together. Let's build together. In all these things that we're trying to achieve, it's all about us, all of us. It's not about individuals, as I always say. It's not about this one doing this or this one doing that, but it's about us as a family to grow together. So go and pledge. I've sent the link. This is the link for our Gofundme page. Go on our Gofundme page and pledge anything from €5 or $5 and then let's see. I mean, look at this. Can we just at least tonight make sure that we have we reach 4,200, more than 4,200 euros. And for some people who might be new on the channel, our target is 25,000 euros. Currently, we're sitting on 4,197, but I know some people will say it's a bit different depending on country to country, but we just over 4,000 euros. But our main target is 25,000 euros because just to break down the budget, what are we going to do with the 25,000 euros? 15,000 euros goes to our rental. Obviously, we've got a place that we've already identified. We've got an office that we've identified, and we want to move into that office. Then the rent is for 12 months. So it's the whole year, 1 year full. We'll have all our rentals paid. And again, just for some people who don't know that in some countries, when you, like for example, you want to rent out an office space or even just an apartment, you pay 6 months in advance or 12 months or even 2 years, depending on the country, the laws in that country, or how people do their business there. So, and with the company where we want to set up our offices, at least the minimum is 6 months, but we want to just do the full 12 months. Then we know we've settled, we build our studio, we build the office, and then we can move in and start start doing more content, diversifying our content, and obviously expanding as well as a team. Because once we have offices, that means we need to employ people, designers, video editors, videographers, sound engineers. So there's a lot. I mean, if people do not understand what it takes to build a production or a media platform, it's not just cameras only. It's not just about small things like that you take for granted or just that most people are using. If you really want to professionalize your content and create better content, we need resources, and we've been open with you, and hence we've come to you to say, family, please assist us, be part of this, you know. So be part of all these things. I mean, we want to grow with you, and so support us. €5, all we need is €5. €5 is like $5 at the moment, looking at the exchange rate. So if you got €5, go and pledge. Let me just see the actual number. Yeah, I mean, so yeah, so it's like almost the same, almost equal. I mean, 98, yeah. So €5, almost €5, $5, we can pledge that, and we'll be able to obviously have these offices, secure these offices, buy the equipment. There's a lot. I mean, for those, and some people that understand equipment, resources just to buy equipment is not as cheap, especially if you want to create better content. Cameras are not just cheap. There's a lot, man. Microphones, there's a lot to set up a studio. So, but this is where we can start, and obviously other things will also try to make up from our side. We'll also have another budget somewhere. We'll just try to push, but we want you as a family to be part of that. We don't want to just do this on our own. Then you just see we have a studio, we have this, but then you can't be part of it. You just hear about it, you just see it, but you've never played a role. So we want people that can participate and play a role in this project that we're trying to achieve. So yeah, so basically that's that. And for some people who might not know, we've changed the logo. Yes, and I saw that somebody complained about the Madagascar, that the first map didn't have Madagascar on the map, and Madagascar was added there. Madagascar is still part of Africa. Mauritius is part of Africa. Seychelles is part of Africa. Comoros Island. So Cape Verde, those are all our islands. So they're still part of the continent of Africa. And also not forgetting the diaspora, the Caribbean, our brothers in the Caribbean, our brothers in Europe, our brothers in the US, our brothers in Asia, China, Australia, all those countries. I mean, all over the world. Continue supporting us. So yeah, and I've sent the link, I've shared the link as well of the GoFundMe. If somebody says, hey, I'd love to pledge €5, I'd love to pledge the 20,000 euros that you guys need so that you can start. And just to also talk more, a little bit about the building where we're trying to set up the offices. It's a proper place, it's a proper location. It's not some shady place. But you will see once we have all the funds, we've raised enough, all the funds that we need, we want to do a review of the place. Obviously, we'll launch, pay, allow the family to come and see. We'll do a live there, and then obviously start setting up, start buying equipment, all those things. We still need hands as well. I mean, some of things we'll have to do ourselves because even the money that we have, it will not be enough, but by God's grace, we'll have enough. We'll have all the hands we need, and God will send all our divine helpers, our destiny helpers like yourself at home. So yeah, so that's that, family, with regards to the building. Let's go, let's support. And something I was just saying earlier about Tanzania in terms of tourism, it's a beautiful place. It gives you the ocean. If you are somebody who loves the ocean, Tanzania gives you that. And if you're somebody that wants to come to Africa, you've never seen the wildlife, you want to see the big five, lions, buffaloes, rhinos, that's the best place. I mean, the famous, one of the most famous national parks, where most of the shows that you watch, I mean, especially on National Geographic, they are shot in Serengeti, which is in Tanzania. So, and another place as well, another popular national park, it's Masai Mara as well, but that's in Kenya. But Serengeti is one of the most popular, especially when you go to Tanzania. If you want to go see the animals, it's also one of those top spots that you can go and enjoy yourself with your family. And not forgetting, another big symbol of Tanzania is Mount Kilimanjaro, the famous Mount Kilimanjaro. So that's also another platform. You can go there. People have been coming to Kilimanjaro, Mount Kilimanjaro, for years and years, just to go and climb the Mount Kilimanjaro. So there's a lot. There's a lot. So when you visit us, there's a lot you can do. You can visit us and still go see Mount Kilimanjaro. You can see Serengeti. You can still go to Zanzibar. Have some beautiful beaches there, man, and see beautiful people. So do that. Hence, that's where we're starting, and we're gonna have a lot. I mean, we've got correspondents all over the world. I mean, you've got the likes of the Biggie and Tenzin, they're in the US. We've got the likes of BJ as well in the US. We've got a lot of people all over the world. So obviously we'll still have satellite offices with different people that are our co-hosts or our team, the executive team behind this. So we're not all alone. I mean, don't see me here. If you're new here, I'm not the only one here. There's a lot of us who are always here on the show. So there's obviously the likes of Biggie. He's our host for the Diaspora Talk every Saturday, 9 p.m. East African time. So please join Biggie tomorrow, 9 p.m. And obviously, our sister, Tenzin, 12, I think it's just 12 p.m., 12 p.m., I think, 11 p.m. East African time. But please, so that you can get notified just after turning on the notification, the like or subscribe button, also click on the notification so that you'll get notified when we go live or when there's any video that we upload. So there's a lot of us. I mean, there's a team behind all these things. Swahili Nation, One Africa. So this is a family. This is not one-man show, So yeah, it's a family. It's a team. Different strengths, different belief systems, different ideas, and different skills, backgrounds. I mean, there's doctors, there's media personalities, there's IT people, there's musicians, there's a lot. There's real estate people own real estate. Yes, there's a lot. So you're joining a team that's diverse. It's not just one-sided type of team where they're all just doing the same thing, but we are all just gathered here for building our continent and building the Black society as a whole and building the world to be a better place. So that's one of the things that we are doing at the moment. So yeah, join us. And I know BJ tonight, she's gonna give $5 US. She's gonna bless us with the $5 US. I know Biggie will also come bless us with the €5 as well. And I know you are going to bless us tonight. So let's at least in this coming month, let's try. I mean, this month, this new month, October, let's at least let's make sure that we reach €5,000. Or even reach the 25,000. Let's close this deal. Let's make sure that we have all that we need so that we can really finish this project or start this project, because we still have a lot of work to be done. There's a lot of work to be done. I mean, just securing offices is not the end of it. We still need to start working, building the offices, buying equipment, setting up the studio, setting up the offices. So there's a lot of work that still needs to be done. So others might just give in terms of money, others will give in terms of hands, others will come by liking and following us, making sure they watch the videos. So that's how it is. I mean, family. So do that. Support us. Support this movement. It's a great movement, and with great team, great people, and obviously great family that's always here for us. So please continue supporting us. Let's make sure that we subscribe if you've not subscribed, and let's also make sure that we pledge our €5. Do not just come and run away. Please, when you come here and you've heed to the call when we say come support us. Do not run away from us and say I'll see these guys someday. You never know. We need you. We need your hands. We need your blessings. So please join us. Wow. Let's see. Oh, besides this, obviously, as I said, we need at least, let's reach 5,000. Let's reach 5,000 euros. But it all starts with you. Wherever you can pledge from 5 euros, please do that. Please do that. This will really help us a lot. Yeah, BJ, right, beautiful logo, I must say as well. I mean, Swahili Nation, One Africa logo is fire. It's fire, it's fire. I think I was just reading Jim Tule. I think Jim Tule says, "Thank you, One Africa family. I prefer if you call our brother Mika rather than His Excellency." I call him that. It's not for everyone. You can call him Brother Mika if it settles well with you. Jim Tuli, if you love calling him Brother Mika, do that. I also call him Brother Mika at times. I also call him His Excellency. I call him many names, but His Excellency always sits well with me. So, and if it doesn't sit well with you, stick to Brother Mika. So whatever feels, whatever makes you feel happy, whatever makes you feel comfortable, use that to call him. If you want to call him Mika, others do not even feel well. They don't want to even use brother Mika. They would rather just call him Mika. So if you want to use the name, whenever you feel comfortable, Jim, to use that. For me, I feel comfortable sometimes using His Excellency, Mika, Brother Mika. I call him a lot of names. So that's how I feel comfortable. But if you're not comfortable and you feel Brother Mika is more decent for you, do that. Yeah, and what else that we need to cover? I see BJ says, "I'm loving the new logo." Yeah. It's the new logo is fire. It's beautiful. I'm also loving the new logo, and obviously we will be having this. You know what? I'm just gonna share the link as well in the meantime. And then if somebody wants to join us or people want to come and join us, you're more than welcome to join us. Right now, I've just shared the live StreamYard link. You can click on the link and come. Let's talk. I mean, let's talk about the Gofundme program. We can talk about the programs that we've been uploading, content that we've been uploading, the live streams. Give us suggestions. Come and give us suggestions. Come, let's talk about, it'd be great to talk about anything that we do, because at times, I enjoy sometimes getting feedback, whether it might be, some people might be negative, but it's better to know than not know at times. There's times when you need to hear the honest truth, whether it's comfortable or not. We need to hear the truth and say, guys, the video that's not correct. This is the correct way to do this. Or what we said was not correct. The fact is, help us, do not sideline us or just talk on your corner, but come and really just help us, come and say, hey guys, this is how we do things. This is how we should address this thing like this and that, So yeah. And as I said, there's something here I just wanted to quickly do as well, is just to also remind people of our live streams, our live shows. Every Sunday, we've got, every Sunday, 9 p.m. East African time, For those who might not know, we have Mondatezi. Mondatezi is our host for the Hidden Hand, the advocate, Mr. Mombasa. Like, I think Mr. Tuli didn't really, I call different people differently. So you'll excuse me sometimes when I call him Mr. Mombasa. I know he's not in Mombasa at the moment, but, you know, he gets it, you know. So, yeah, so it's just one of those things, family. So join Mondatezi every Sunday, 9 p.m. East African time. Just going to post here, obviously, as well, so that you guys can really see. So join Mondatezi every Sunday, 9 p.m. East African time. And obviously, and before I go to Mondatezi, I need to speak as well about Biggie. His biggest show is Saturday, tomorrow, or today, depending where you're connected from. Today, or I mean Saturday, every Saturday, 9 p.m. East African time, on the Diaspora Talk. So the name of the show is called the Diaspora Talk. I've already shared that. Diaspora Talk, 9 p.m. East African time. It's called the Diaspora Talk, and our host is Biggie. And Sundays, we've got Mondatezi, 9 p.m. East African time. Obviously, Mondatezi always comes with really thought-provoking questions and conversations. So, hey, sometimes I listen passively, though I might not come and join, but I'll be listening to his show as well. And Mondays as well, as you know, His Excellency, to others, Brother Mika, to John, people like Brother Mika, he'll call Brother Mika. He feels comfortable calling Brother Mika. So he normally comes, different conversations. That's where normally we have interviews, a lot of interviews, whether it's people in business, people in education, people in all spheres of society and industry. So he normally hosts them every Monday, 9 p.m. East African time. And obviously Tuesdays, we still have we've moved, what's her name? Tenzen's show. Tenzen's show is also on Saturday, man. I forgot to mention that. Tenzen, it's 11 a.m. Just check East African time or Central African time, but just check where you're connecting from. Tenzen is Saturday as well. Saturday in the morning. It's normally morning for us here in Africa. I think it's also still morning for them it's afternoon. I mean, sorry, why am I confusing all the time zones now? Because she's hosting us from a different country, so hence sometimes I get all these time zones mixed up. So please join Tenzen tomorrow morning, and wow, morning in America, afternoon in Africa. So yeah, and then again, I'm not sure when is Dr. Ebenezer coming back, but Dr. Ebenezer, due to other work duties, as you know, he's a doctor, long working hours, and a lot of things that he has been busy with in terms of his other work as a doctor. Hence, he's not been coming in a lot on the shows. So do not think he's avoiding you, family, or where is he? For those who don't know, who love connecting with him, his shows are still on Thursday, 9 p.m. East African time. Just at the moment, his show is just on a recess until he's back, or until most of his other commitments are out of his way, and he can really come here and really speak to us. His show is still 9 p.m. unless when he comes back, he'll choose another slot, but definitely missing you, Mr. Dr. Ebenezer. Can't wait to have your show back. And also Professor Ezra, we miss you and we love you. Can't wait to see you again, family. That's also family right there. And there's also one of our biggest sponsor, Professor Ezra. We love you, family. We love you, Professor Ezra. And again, another host, Tencent, we love you, we love you, we love you. And I'm sure a lot of people love you out there in the family. Mwenda Tezi, love you, man, we love you, we love you. Biggie, we love you, we love you, we love you. And other members that I might not mention here, Brother Paul, love you, man. And I'm sure the family can't wait to be on the Swahili sessions. And join Brother Paul for his sessions called the Swahili sessions. So, yeah. Oh, man. I think for now, for the announcements, things that we've been busy with, that's out of the way, I think. I think we've covered most of these things. And again, let me do this. There's something I'm going to just quickly share. Oh, please, family, if you've just joined us, go to the Gofundme page. Go to the Gofundme page. Go there and pledge, please. Let's reach at least 4,200 tonight. Over 4,200 tonight. So who'll be the first to go and say, hey, 5 euros, 10 euros, 10 US dollars, 20, anything from 5 euros or 5 US dollars. Let's go, family. Let's go. Man. So please go and pledge. The link is there for our GoFundMe pledge link, where you can just click on the link. It will take you to our page on the GoFundMe and go pledge 5 euros or 10 euros or 20 or even 20,000 euros, man. We need 25,000 and we're still on 4,197. So we need at least 5,000 tonight. Tonight or this month we must be done with this, because the longer we take, I mean, obviously it's affecting where we're gonna get our space, our rental space. But so far we still are in that place. It's a beautiful place, as I said, really beautiful location. So you'll see once we obviously raise all the funds and we move into those offices. Currently, we cannot tell you the name of the venue because we've not really paid. We've not secured the place. So once we've paid the deposit or the whole amount, then that's when we can really say, this is our business location. Find us on street, office number. So currently we cannot tell you the office because it's still open for anyone. So we need to also hurry so that we do not lose our space. So that's one catch about this whole place. That's why we didn't want to just say we were trying to move to this building or this office space. The name of the place is ABC. And then next thing we don't not move because somebody already secured all those spaces. So we need to first get all the real money, pay, and then come back to you and show you and say, proof of payment. We're gonna show you. We're gonna show the whole family. We're gonna go live and tell you where your money is going, what we bought, and obviously what we bought. And they will show you all the stuff physically as well, what we bought with the money that you are raising. We're not going to just go and do things and not come back to you and say, thank you, this is what we bought with this is what we bought with this is what we bought with this money. So that will obviously come back and show you. And also, you will see us in our offices, so there will be another proof to say that, hey, these guys have really used our money properly. So yeah, so that's all that I wanted to just notify you guys about. If you raise funds and you're a bit skeptical about the whole thing, so please do that. So pledge, and then obviously we're gonna show you, family. We're gonna show you what we're doing, and we'll come with all the proof of payment. And you'll start seeing us on the studio. I mean, obviously going live, show you all the equipment and everything. So do not miss out. Do not miss out on this opportunity to pledge and help us to reach our goal, which is 25,000 euros. So that's the most important thing at the moment. That's what we try to push, because the GoFundMe is amongst all our projects that we have, it's the one that's falling behind, or that's still trickling in very slow. But I know from tonight onwards, we speak speed and we speak life, and we're gonna raise this thing quickly. End of this month, we'll have our 25,000. So yeah. Hey, man. So please, I'm just gonna share again the link for some people. I'm gonna make noise. I'm gonna make noise about this. Make noise about this. I won't stop until we reach our goal, our destination.
Speech that we wrote, and this will give you a full picture of what we stand for, where we are, and where we are going. It is indeed an auspicious occasion, a great honor and privilege to be here with you today to launch and celebrate a Nations of Union, One Africa. Swahili Nation One Africa is a global initiative founded to unite Africa, explore the abundant opportunities of growth that exist throughout the continent, harmonize ideas and best steps to harness these for the benefit of both the young and old generations. To date, Africa remains a continent blessed with numerous resources, yet it is still the poorest in the world. There are numerous internal and external factors that causes this dissonance. The World Bank estimates that by the year 2050, sub-Saharan countries will be home to more than 1 billion people, half of whom will be under 25 years. This demographic stands the best chance at transforming the continent. The most dangerous poverty of all is mind poverty. Colonizers paralyzed Africa decades ago using the education system. The imperialists to date use the divide and rule principle. Africans have for decades been turned against each other. The family unity in Africa, which served a pivotal as a building block of human behavior and society at large, where formative values and respect and responsibility were instilled by parents, all the social order is now disintegrating. Should we sit back and continue complaining while cursing the neo-colonialists? My people, eradicating mind poverty in Africa starts by acknowledging our history, being aware of the present, building on the future, and learning from our mistakes. My people perished and being destroyed for the lack of knowledge. Knowledge remains the biggest challenge we face as Africans. Even with little knowledge we possess, partly our minds have been brainwashed and misinformed. The divide and rule approach of the colonialists remain prevalent even in the current times. Africa, we have allowed ourselves to be divided along with tribes, religion, skin color, clans, ethnicity, amongst others. One Africa, we declare our diversity is our strength. We embrace unity in diversity. Generations behind us are silently pleading for.
Be free. Be fearless. Be anything. Be you. Just be.
Direction. The time is now to reconcile with ourselves, neighbors, and the whole continent. It will be a long road to healing, but in solidarity, we break away from the chains of division and walk the path to freedom. As we forge through this era of technological revolution, Africa should concurrently embrace transformative global trends especially targeting our education policies. We should create tech corners and replicate across the continent to acquaint professionals in Africa with different trends on education and technology aimed at connecting them with the rest of the world. Unity, peace, and love run a resounding aloe. These three sum can only come through initiative that promote equality of opportunity. Africa is the world's youngest continent with 60% of its population under the age of 25 years. Africa is an envy of the globe, accounting for 19% of the globe youth population. Let us tap into the readily available labor force of the young men and women and detract them from joining extremism. Free them from taking risk journeys across Mediterranean Sea and from appalling conditions and inhuman treatment some experience in the Gulf region. We need to harness the potential of our young people. World Bank estimate that 40% of youth who join extremism are motivated by economic inequality. The exodus of our youth.
And then my human, Sibongile, went in hard with the soy sauce. She
Thank you, family. Just one of those speeches that I always play, and I always play this so that it's a constant reminder why we're doing this and the motivation. And also, this was also one of our speeches, one of the speeches that His Excellency, Brother Mika Tuli, about the One Africa speech. When we launched the One Africa initiative, it was in Ethiopia, and this is one of the speeches that this is just so significant. That's why I always play this, because it's a reminder. We did a launch early in the year, and obviously once we do a launch and such things remain in our it's going to remain in our archives forever. It's going to remain in our archives forever. And this speech, I'm going to play it until, man, we're going to play this speech. Whether people like it or not, you're going to get it once you understand all these things that we need to achieve as a continent or as a people. So hence, I love playing this speech because it always reminds me of why we're doing this. So it's a constant reminder that we need to work for our continent. We need to work in making, we need to ensure that this continent really achieves its own goals. I mean, in terms of taking out people out of poverty. And as His Excellency says, the mind poverty, poverty comes in many forms. So poverty is our enemy. It's not the people, but poverty in those people. That's where now we cannot achieve a lot of things as long as there's poverty in our minds. And also poverty comes in many forms, as I say. It can be in terms of money, in terms of psychological, in terms of education, so many things, man. There's so many things that we need to consider when we talk about this thing. So that's our main goal, and that's eradicating poverty in everything that we do. And also making sure that as a people, we manage resources and things that God has given us into our hands, we manage them well. And as a continent, Africa is, it's the youngest continent, it's the youngest, in the whole world, there's no continent that has a young population like Africa. So much potential for our continent. So right now, we need to make sure that as a generation, we can start doing things. As a generation, we need to start now. We should not wait or cry all the time. We need to see opportunities even when it's so hard for us. We need to see opportunities, and we need to start doing things, guys. We need to start doing things for ourselves. Yeah, some people will say, no, but the government, oh, this one, this leader. I mean, regardless of whatever leader is there, we need to keep moving. We need to start building. I mean, we need to have platforms. We need to have so many things that is controlled by us, because we are the new leadership. We are the leaders of today. We are the leaders that need to take over from now onwards. So if people, and as a family, we do not take advantage of this situation, or whatever, whenever we see any small opportunity, any opening, we need to exploit any door that we find. If it's a window that's open and we need to use it, let's use it. Because no one is going to give it to us. If we are waiting for politicians or people in leadership to come and assist us all the time, we'll never get things done. So we need to lead as well. So leadership comes in all forms. It's not just the politicians who are leaders. We are leaders in our own spaces, in our own homes, in our own platforms, in our own work, in our own things. We are leaders. So we need to start there. It all starts with us as a people, to lead within us. We need to start leading in our own homes, in our own families. And we should not really outsource all our problems. No one is going to come and help us. Or if you are still expecting other people to always come to rescue Africa, then we'll forever remain, we'll just remain waiting for a savior in some leaders somewhere else. We need to start leading our continent. We need to start doing anything, any innovative ideas, we need to be in it. If there's new trends that we need to take over, we should be available. We should count ourselves in. If there's a new technology that's coming, Africa should lead. We should have people there. We should not sit on the sideline and look at the world being innovative, exploiting their potential and making money. We need to also be in all this movement. We need to be in everything, man, everything. Whether it's engineering, we need to be there. IT, we need to be in music, we need to be there. Everywhere, any industry, we need to be there. We need to count ourselves there. We need to fill those spaces. No one will fill the spaces for us. We need to fill those spaces. We need to fill those spaces. If we are waiting for some people to come somewhere to come and fill our spaces or help us all the time, it won't work. We need to start moving. We need to start doing things for ourselves. And I know there's always be that person who says, how? Start. We need to, there's so many ways to start. It all just, we have to start. Whether it's small, no matter how small it is, we need to start. We need to be there. We need to be in those spaces. We need to align ourselves to those opportunities. So let's do that. Let's do that. Let's do that. Oh, man.
began from the very beginning of time, right? And I can ask you one question right now. What does history tell us here about Africa? Who discovered Africa? If you write right now on Google who discovered Africa, you find out that is one white man that he came and discovered Africa. And you can ask yourself that how can you discover a place that already exists? How can you discover a place that people already live in that place? It is impossible, but that's what the history tells us. That's what people believe about Africa, that it was discovered by a white man. This guy, he came, and then he went back, he gave a report, and then the next we know is colonialism, because those guys, they sat somewhere to divide Africa like a piece of cake, because they discovered it, they own it, it belonged to them. But that is us. We discovered, we're the first people to know. And today you have a lot of people around the world that they think that Africa was discovered by them. So Africa, a place where poverty and pandemic diseases are originated, the least wealthy continent per capita, the land where the only things to be found are animals, corrupted leaders, poor kids, dirty water and civil wars, people who are in need for help, donations and support, aka the NGO's motherland. For others, honestly, Africa is just a very hot, dark and sad place everyone wishes to escape one day. Well, whether you're an African or not, this thinking isn't new to you, because you have read, heard or felt the same way before. Just type the word Africa on Google right now. Turn on your TV and see what the NGOs portray. Watch movies from Hollywood. Ask your mama, friends, or ask yourself, what is Africa? Yet if you're still struggling to believe, let me ask you this. What comes to your mind when you hear the word Africa? Tell me the first thought that comes to your mind right now. Honestly, tell me right now. But what really is Africa? What is Africa? Listen, there are many theories about the name, but one that is close to the truth is Al-Kebulan. This name translates to Mother of Mankind, or according to other sources, the Garden of Eden, the place where love, peace and unity dwells. Al-Kebulan is an extremely old word. Many nations in Africa use this word, including Ethiopians, Nubians, Moors and Numidians. For me, this isn't just the theory, but the truth. My truth I choose to believe in. As cliche as it sounds, that's the future I'm hoping for. The tomorrow I'm fully determined to see. The dream I am convinced and dedicated to fighting for until it happens. What is Africa for you?
Take it this way. Hey, where's everyone? Hey, man, we had a late show today, the architect. You are here, others are asleep, but we are here. And a lot of people have other commitments. And you know, like another person, Neo Pets. Hey, I still need to see you. I've once invited you to come and let's talk. Brother Rich, I saw earlier you were really, you know, I saw that your heart was beating fast with regards to what's happening in Burkina Faso. Maybe you should come and we can talk about that. And Neon Parks as well, man. It'll be really nice to see you, Neon Parks. Even if you come 5 minutes, let's talk. I always see you around, but I hardly have. I've never seen you join the live stream. You always come in the comment section and you sneak out, Neon Parks. So we need you here. Hey, Brother Rich.
Yes, brother. How are you?
Oh, good, oh, good. Still doing God's work.
Yeah, that's good. I see you. I see you, man. I see you. Don't worry. None of your work is going unnoticed.
Yeah,
How are
man.
you? How are you? How are you today this weekend, man?
Ah, man, been good. Being, you know, all is well. Still thank God we still have the strength to continue the work, and the work doesn't stop, man. We still have a big work, man. Still have the Gofundme. We still have a lot. The website launching as well. So there's a lot. But it's. And how have you been, man?
It's same old same. I saw that there was actually another coup in Burkina Faso. We're not even hearing anything about how many people die or anything. But that was on my mind for most of the day today, because it was this morning I heard about it when I came to work, and then it's almost like it's so strange when you can't do nothing about it. You know, it feels weird. It feels like a level of anxiety is coming over where you gotta look at it like that and you can't do nothing. You know. I even was talking to someone about it just like a couple minutes ago, actually, and I was saying to myself, the whole media, everything is so controlled. Everything over in the French-speaking African countries is so controlled by this small little French country. Even the media, everything is controlled by them. So that was on my mind today, and of course, when I'm thinking about these things, I'm not just thinking about them. I'm thinking like, how do in the future we defend ourselves against certain things, like all this confusion? Because right now we don't even know what's good or bad anymore, you know. So we don't know what's good or bad. We don't know when to cheer and when to be sad. So all that's left is this level of anxiety that you just can't seem to get rid of. And it also what came across my mind when I saw this happening is that it has been a while since African people actually won a revolution and maintained it. Because winning a revolution and maintaining a revolution is so much different, man. It's so different from each other. Winning a revolution is almost 10 times as easy as maintaining it, because there's so many players in Africa right now, and so many people looking at Africa and like scavengers. You don't even know what's happening. That was on my mind today.
And it's because now, I mean, it's becoming really unstable. I mean, when you're looking at this coup after another coup, and I saw what Marie Antoinette as well, what she just said. I mean, within this year, this is the second coup this year, if I'm not mistaken. I've not really been following everything that's happening in Burkina Faso. Apparently, it's the second one in like what, 8 months? That's what Marie Antoinette says.
Yeah. Yep. And it's so funny because the first coup leader, just 2 days ago or so at the UN General Assembly, he was there, and he also did some backroom meetings with the Russians as well. So I don't know what else is happening or going on with that one.
And it's going to be interesting because remember with the issue with Mali, remember ECOWAS had sanctioned Mali early in the year. I wonder what they're gonna do now with Burkina Faso. Are they gonna also sanction Burkina Faso to say another military coup? What's happening? Are they gonna sideline them, or what's gonna happen with Mali? Especially looking at the ECOWAS, because they've went crazy on Mali. Now it's Burkina Faso where it's now even a second coup after another one.
Yeah, man. Well, it's like this, like if you think about it, how I see these things is like, I don't know what ECHO is gonna do or whatever, but why thinking about is the people. You know what? The people haven't settled. Like one coup after another is just like planting one tree after another. You know what I mean? The tree doesn't get a chance to grow. That's the problem. The tree remains young and immature because every time the tree tries to move itself up, then it's destroyed again, and then you have to dig put another tree in the ground again and wait for it to grow and water it. So it's never to a point where that's my greatest concern actually. It's never to a point where the tree get a chance to grow and get a chance to learn from its mistakes and get a chance to understand its surroundings, understand what it needs, understand how to protect itself. The tree never get a chance to do that. The tree is just being dug up and a new tree is being planted every time. And I don't think that's good.
Hey, BJ, welcome.
Hey, how you guys doing?
All good.
Good to hear your voice again.
Yeah, I did not know that another coup was going on in Burkina Faso. I mean, oh my God. But they've been talking about like what's going on in Haiti. And then someone said that's been going on for quite some time. It seemed like it's just they want to keep a constant conflict, so that's a direct access in the name of we're here as peacekeeper. Because it's like, again, who is behind the coup? On top of what are they fighting over?
You know, they had some videos from this morning showing a big military plane flying over Burkina Faso and troops are flying out of it. Did you guys see that video? Someone came in from somewhere and did that. I'm telling you, they had videos of it this morning, right in front of our face.
Okay, I'm in America. So where is Burkina Faso geographically located?
It's in West Africa. It has a border between Mali, Ghana, Togo. Actually, it's a landlocked country in West Africa.
I'm just going to share the map very soon. I'll show you where it is. It's in West Africa. It borders a lot of countries. And you can imagine, I mean, countries like Ghana, obviously they are the most stable ones. They're more likely to be affected more when such things happen. But let's see. I'm just going to share the geographical location of Burkina Faso. And then for some people who might not know, where is Burkina Faso? It's not really a popular country. But another thing is, people forget there's great leaders that came from Burkina Faso. Great leaders like Thomas Sankara is from that region. So it has produced great leaders, not like a country that has never produced anything. What's happening in Burkina Faso? For some people, it might be, they should really see it. Here's the country. I'm now sharing the map. This is where Burkina Faso is. And you can see this region has been really volatile of recent. Remember, this is Burkina Faso, right? Mali as well, they had obviously their military coup or their revolution, as they say it, obviously kicking France out and all those things. But this part of our continent at the moment, it's been really going through a lot of difficulties in terms of insurgencies and also other what they call terrorist groups. We don't really know for sure who are these terrorist groups, what are they fighting for? Because sometimes you just get, there's a terrorist group now, they call themselves this name, there's a new one called this name. So it really runs deep. It is really something that I think as Africans, we need to really research more about this issues.
You know,
Yeah,
I was gonna say, just this short thing I was gonna say. This happens when you're unable to protect your borders. Africa don't make these things. They don't make these weapons that these people are killing each other with. Where they're coming from? They're coming from outside.
yeah, but Ezra, I'm looking at it just from a map perspective. It's in the center of everything. So anyone, like you said, you saw the planes, they could fly in and literally drop off whatever they want to drop off. And you talking about they can get to Mali, they can get to Nigeria, they can get to the Ivory Coast. There's the water, easy access into there, and then they could go further into Central, Northern Africa with no problem. So it's a key location, because if you have a stronghold there, you look at all the countries you're touching. And that you could say, now we have a problem. Mali is now fighting with, I'm sorry, my eyes are sort of, the letters are a little small, but is that night? No.
Is it better now?
Yes, better now. But see, you could say they could then have Mali having conflict with Nimini, or Nimini and Benin, and et cetera. They grow in a bunch of conflicts because they're in the center, and easily slip right back out.
And sorry about that, Rich. I remember when we spoke to Yusuf regarding Mali, because it's from Mali, but he's based in the US. When we spoke, I asked him a question when we had an issue with Mali, when Mali was going through their revolution and kicking the French out and stuff. And regarding all these issues of terrorism and stuff, look at Mali, for example, right? Here's Mali. It's a big country. It is a big country. It's bigger than Nigeria, by the way. One of the biggest, if not the biggest, in the West Africa. I think it is the biggest, maybe between Niger and Mali. But anyway, look at their capital city, Bamako, where it is. It's mostly on the western part of the country, and the big part of the country is obviously desert, and that's where most of the terrorist groups are apparently hiding, or they mobilize themselves trying to go inland or going towards the west, which is the capital. So at some point I asked Yusuf that is there maybe a chance, because we've seen countries where they've moved their capital, like for example Tanzania, they've moved their capital city. It's not Dar es Salaam, for some people who might not know. It's Dodoma. It's not popular, but it's the capital city. It's mostly like sort of in the center of the country. And I was asking him, like, look at where the capital is. Let's say now this is Bamako, which is the capital city and the commercial city. This is like on the western part, southern part of this country. And then 70% of the land it's obviously not really occupied by so many things because it's mostly desert coming back to the side. And also Mali, for example, it has a lot of history. When you look at cities like Timbuktu, you know about Timbuktu.
Yeah. Yep.
It's a significant city, historical place, and it's almost in the center. And my question was, why don't they make maybe Timbuktu the capital, develop it? I know it's on the desert side or in the Sahel side of the continent, but why it's mostly it's like in the center of their country. Can't they just make this the capital? At least now you can mobilize properly in terms of your resources instead of other regions seeing that, like, for example, if you look at people that live mostly in the desert, some people are nomads and all those people. So if they feel that all the resources are going in the western part of the country, which is mostly in the around Bamako and other places, they'll feel really, they'll always wish to break away because they feel they are far away from all the resources and all the economic activities of their country. So that was my thinking, that why they don't move it maybe in the center, just to make sure that everyone can easily reach those places and feel part of the development of the country instead of only one part, far from everything being the commercial and the capital of the nation, you know.
So as what is their resources in Mali?
In Mali, there's uranium. It's the biggest resource. That's why the French are there, because of their nuclear power stations there.
Uranium.
Yeah. So my second question is, are they creating these conflicts so then we can now split it up like we did Sudan?
Let me tell you something. This is what's happening there is crazy. There's no doubt they got their hands over there, but did you guys see that video of that what's her name is again? The new Italian Prime Minister. She called out Macron for that, you know. You guys go look at the video. She said Macron is the reason why all of those I'm sorry about the noise, the washroom. The laundry room. But he was saying all of those Africans that are coming over the border in Europe is Macron's fault because he killed Gaddafi. And she was so right. I'll explain to you guys later. I'll explain to you guys in a few minutes.
Yeah, it just sounds like me from an outsider perspective. They want a conflict, which then open the door for them to come in and bring in whatever military weaponry and boots on the ground to do whatever they want to do to fulfill their agenda. And if you go against it, then, because I can never understand why is there so much conflict on the continent. If I can't feed myself, I ain't got time to be picking up a gun, fighting with somebody 5 miles over.
Exactly.
And I'm definitely ain't gonna be fighting somebody else's war.
Definitely. BJ, you can imagine, this is also a question I always ask. What you just asked is very important, because if we're talking about a country being poor, especially now, especially what they call the terrorist groups or the rebel groups coming mostly in the Sahel and also the Sahara Desert, living in those places or hiding there or mobilizing from those areas. Who's funding them? Who's feeding them? You cannot live without food. Who's feeding you to every night, every day? You have to have food, transportation. You have to get paid if you're going to become a militant. Obviously, there has to be some form of transaction. Money is now involved. And how do
I just look at the same situation that happened here with the crack epidemic. All these kids were given AK-47s. Stacks and stacks of cocaine, filled warehouses, stacks and stacks of dollars filling apartment buildings. And my whole question was, we ain't got no armory anywhere in the neighborhood. We ain't got no poppy seeds growing anywhere down the street. Where is it coming from? So you already know there's a foreign hand in the middle of it, and then find out later on, oh, Iran Contra. It was, they needed to be of, since the government said we're not going to fund the war against the Iranians, we're going to find another way to fund this by giving Nicaragua some weapons and stuff like that, and then for exchange, they'll drop the cocaine in the neighborhoods. I mean, so it's just playbook, all the time. It never changes. We have to stop fighting another man's war, because again, both sides gonna lose. Because whoever left standing, they gonna come and knock you out.
Definitely, I mean, it is crazy, and no one really wants to raise those questions. I mean, it's like whenever you ask those questions, they just keep quiet quickly. They shut you out, and they do not want to give you that space to even make more awareness about this issue of who's funding wars in Africa. Who are the actors behind, regardless of, some people might say it's the politicians in our countries, but how do they even reach those multinationals, those companies that manufacture weapons? How do they even buy those weapons? I mean,
and why they're allowing these military planes to, one, y'all got to get rid of everybody else's military base. Send it back home.
Definitely. And I see there's I've got at least tonight, BJ, we've got Biggie's already here, and I see Two Niger. Two Niger is the best person as well to even enlighten us more about West Africa, because this is happening in his backyard. He might know and give us something. But before I go to Two Niger, I'm just going to allow Biggie to come in, because he was here first. Welcome, Biggie.
Hey,
hello, Biggie.
Thank you. Hey, how's it going? Right as well, DJ Tunaja. Man, it's been a long time since I hear from you. But again,
sorry, man. I've been dealing with my Nigerian brothers. They have too much headache.
So you got to take a break.
Yeah, I've been talking to Nigerians, man. It's not easy.
Man, it's just I've been following up also on some of the Nigerian stuff on about a couple of days ago. It's so funny that you just showed up. It seems like I'm attracting people that I didn't see. And I was just thinking about you a couple of days ago. It was about the oils and stuff like that, and on what we have right now. One thing that a couple of things that I'm doing right now, but again. Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning to all of you. And thank you for having me. I just want to put a little highlights on what's going on, in the world, because there are decisions that's being made that's going to affect us more than we can ever imagine. Is the issue between the wars that we have, and the annexation of the Ukraine area, and now Ukraine is signing for the joining NATO. Now you better embrace, because I don't like the smell of it, the thinking of it, with the blowing up or the streams and all that, because it's going to affect us directly. And this is a day now again with Burkina Faso that's going overthrown one government to another. So I'll get back to that part after Tanaja just puts a little bit of highlight of it. But really, there's a lot bigger thing that's coming, a lot bigger than we can imagine. So I just want everybody to have a moment to pray, a moment to really understand what really goes on right now, because we are really at the peak of the Third World War, right there at the door, and I don't know how it's going to be taken and the effect of it. So I'm just looking at different options, and I've been following the money, okay, but following the money and how it gets found out, and you get the history on how these things are building up on us. So let's hope nothing happened, because a lot of the warning comes for October 5th. That was going to be the official date of annexation, and Ukraine joining the NATO. This is not good. It is not good at all. And it's always been an issue about NATO and everything else that they do in Africa. All this, if you notice, the coup d'etat itself, Burkina Faso, is from one military to another guy. You know, this is just not really. Both coup d'etat are not elected. Of course, then you have the part that's really screaming at not this to happen again. So before we resolve one, another comes in. So they're giving us a lot of reading, watching, and everything, keeping us busy. But there are a lot of other things that's going on. So again, I just joined just to give you a little bit of a highlight on that. And tomorrow on my Diaspora Talk, probably gonna come in depth on some of the information that I'm gonna get overnight, because apparently there will be unprecedented UN meeting today at 7 o'clock, which is the Eastern time. So I didn't even know if I would, just to give you this message. So there's a lot of things going on. So I'll pass it to Tanaja just to give us a little bit of highlight on what he knows about Burkina Faso, because this is our continent. It happens in our continent. And why it's happening, BJ, you understand, this is all about, getting control of African states.
Yeah, I mean, and then you're looking at the East African Union. Is this also, because everything they do is never a one-off. It's going to have 5 different effects. Are they trying to keep the West Africans from unifying on top of everything else?
Yeah, you got to put some fire in it, so you got to keep the population busy, whatever the strategic point that they want to take, that's what they're going to play.
Yeah.
So, Tanaja, I leave the floor to you.
Yeah, thanks for having me, and greetings to everyone on the panel, the viewers, and this thing on the chat. Man, this is kind of stuff that gives me just a sense of I don't know. It makes me really, really angry sometimes. These are our leaders, and this guy has been running the country for how many years, and that's how many months. I mean, and only to check the size of his military is 6,000 something personnel. You wonder why he's not in office today. He's an idiot, and all these people, I don't even know what they are doing in office. They are not ready to rule countries. I don't know what is wrong with these leaders. They come in acting as if they are people that are there to rule the country. They are not there to rule the country. They are there to be caretakers. And these people are not running the country as in, this is a country of 20 million people. And you have 6,000 soldiers as your military. While Singapore, that is 5.something billion, has almost 400,000 people. This is a joke. How our people just keep accepting this nonsense that keeps happening in our countries is ridiculous. It's a scam. What some of these leaders claim to be leaders, but they are not leaders. They are just there acting like caretakers. I don't even understand. When I read deal that the Germans signed after the First World War, is so remarkably similar to the way sub-Saharan African leaders run their countries. That especially in terms of their military posture, they limited the number of soldiers these Germans can have at the time. They limited when how they are going to retire and all this. They put all those restrictions on them because they were defeated in the First War, so they are not allowed to do those things. That's what Hitler went and violated in the end, and then went on a rampage. African leaders are running their countries like that. They have a lot of people, but they never harness them. This is common with African countries. To me, that should be the biggest scandal. Why is it that we are by far the least defended in a world where Germany is now the third, has the third largest defense budget, if I'm not mistaken, I think from what I gathered recently. Germany has the third largest, I think even bigger than that of this in France right now. Somebody was saying that the other day. because they are all upgrading and setting up, because they are all acting as if they are trying to fight Russia. People should be worried. The Africans, we are the ones that should be worried.
Yeah, because they may be turning the
it's
weapons
us they are
onto you.
preparing for. We think they are not going to fight Russia. They know there's no win in that war. They're not going to fight Russia. And when I did this analysis some time ago, I felt it was a little bit of a reach. But the other day, I was watching a commentary from an American this media channel, and they were discussing some of the things that are going on in the Ukraine war and how it relates to Africa, why some African countries are not supporting the war and all the rest. And when they started talking about how NATO is arming itself, then they was like, but where is NATO going to go? And the lady made the conjunction that it's probably Africa. And the funny thing is that how is it that Africans can see it? It's so obvious. They are not going to go out. They are not going to fight NATO physically. Russia, because Russia is a nuclear power. You are not going to go. Okay. As a matter of fact, Russia has a large stockpile of nuclear weapons. You can't go inside Russia. The only thing you can do is try to fight Russia in another continent. And guess where the Russians are moving into? Wagner Group is all over this in Africa right now. And this stuff is going to be brought on the continent, and we are not ready at all, because our leaders have just down-tooled and don't want to defend themselves.
Because he's busy putting fire around him. You know, all the head of state, they're putting fires. You know, there's something in here, something there.
This should be a scandal. Really. See, I questioned a few presidential candidates. That's why I said I was talking to our Nigerian people. Sometimes when they come online and we talk, and I asked them a few tough questions regarding these things. And I think this should be the biggest scandal on the continent, especially sub-Saharan Africa. How is it that our militaries are the weakest by a long shot in the world? We don't have any country with a strong sizable military that can defend itself. This Burkina Faso military is a joke, really. Technically, if Nigerian soldiers want to walk in there, they'll walk in there and move this guy from office. But they won't, because they are all kowtowing to these Western powers. The only Nigerian leader that has done that is Abacha. That did that without anybody's permission, just went to Sierra Leone and removed the military regime there. The reason why he did that, guess what is happening today in Nigeria? The chief security officer of Abacha is the only official, the only presidential candidate talking about the international dimension of Nigerian security problem. He is the only one. The rest pretend as if they can't see it. Oh no, nothing is happening. Let's just pretend like the whole world doesn't mean us harm. And our country is suffering a lot of insecurity problem. This guy is saying the problems are happening in the north. They are coming there to come and steal natural resources in the north. They cause the people to start fighting each other. They bring weapons and then they start stealing our resources. This is the game that they played everywhere, from Congo and all the rest of it. And it's only one presidential candidate that is talking about it. And guess that same presidential candidate is the Abacha's chief security officer. And Abacha is the only person that I've seen in Nigeria that has tried to operate with a more muscular posture. He didn't take prisoners. Whenever he saw something that he didn't like, he just acted. He jailed the foreign groups in Sierra Leone when they came for a meeting in Abuja. I put them in prison. These type of people that are doing these sort of things in Burkina Faso now, if someone like Abacha was in office, they will be out of office within 2 to 3 weeks. But Nigeria now is ruled by a guy that he doesn't want to talk to Nigeria at all. He comes in and disappears for weeks before he shows up again. And he's not going to do anything. There's an election. As a matter of fact, he's already said it. He can't wait to retire. This is the kind of president with Nigerians have. Presidents of Nigeria, they want to escape office. While other people want to jump into office, our presidents want to run away from office. So this is what the kind of service Africans are getting is so terrible. The presidential candidates in Nigeria, 2 of them are old guards. One of them can barely stand, is ill. We just had a sick president. Now we've got another sick president. Yesterday, there was a kind of signing ceremony, a kind of commitment to say that during the election there should not be any violence. So all political parties have to sign to it. There should not be any form of violence. And one of the major candidates is in London because he's ill. Nobody knows whether he's dead or not now. He's in London. This is the pathetic situation we live in, where our leaders, the excuse that his campaign gave was that he went there to rest. That didn't let him rest in Nigeria. So he's in London, a presidential candidate goes to rest.
And get his marching orders.
Exactly. This is the kind of world we live in, and it's a scandal. Some of the stuff we tolerate in Africa, I can't believe that we've tolerated these things this long. It's so obvious what is going on that our leaders are not running our countries like they are independent nations. All of them. Only Eritrea is the one I can say. Sorry, only Eritrea is the one I can say has some sense of independence. It's just crazy. Sorry.
Because it's patriotic, and you know, in area they're very patriotic when it comes to these kind of issues, and to really appreciate the leader is that he never flinch, he never change for anybody when it comes to corruption, when it comes to dealing with him, to getting access to the Red Sea and all that. He protected Africa on that coast. Because their access in there, the Atlantic, they're all over. You know, the Mediterranean, they're all over. Now they got the Red Sea. So what happened? We're going to be really enclosed. So we can now move without them saying anything. But Eritrea said no. So that means that warhead is open. They cannot do anything about it. And he made sure that he had military service for all Eritreans to protect their country. And that indoctrination has not only been military service, you know, you don't go always to war, but at least they go and rebuild their country, what's been destroyed for the last 20, you can say about 30 years, you know, the roads, infrastructure, the train, everything was in a mess. But the only way he could rebuild it is by using the people that are really in the country, because who else is going to work for you? Eritrea has no money, and at the same time, she got resource. Okay, and he balanced the cost with the resource, and his import is very limited. It's not about all luxury stuff and everything else. You know, if you can bring it in, but you're going to pay your tariffs. But a lot of people don't do that because knowing that the people are really starving in certain areas. I mean, in general. Of the work, employment and stuff like that, if you don't open up this kind of work, building the infrastructure and being different part of the country, and they don't have no ethnic issue, no religion issue, because he abolished that. He said, no, you're Eritrean first. It doesn't matter where you come from, and it doesn't care about religion, whether you're Muslim or Christian. It's just Eritrea come first. So he told the Eritreans that's the doctrine that he's been playing for the last 27 years, you know. Yeah, and he did.
See, the thing about the Eritreans, a marvelous job. Many of the Eritreans will be, you know, I've heard of some of them that they say they are running to the West and all the rest. There are many of them that may not be happy what is going on in the country. Believe you me, the ones that are there that are suffering, they may not feel like, oh, it's a good thing that they are doing. If they are hearing this thing, they should know that it's a good thing. Because this thing, because look at North Korea right now. They were going through a lot of tough patches when they were developing to this point that they've developed to. Yeah, I don't like form of government where they act as if their president is like some kind of god or something. But the point is that the nation cannot be messed with, and they are doing better now for it. Any country that maintains its independence, you are eventually going to do better off it. This thing that oh my God, I can't even believe that our people. Another one that we tend to do that we have not even clamped down on is our leaders can just go from nowhere, go and sign with foreign troops to come into your country without consulting the people at all. That kind of move should require a referendum, because these people will. I'm telling you, the way these leaders are running our countries, they are like caretaker government. They will just sign your country away. Literally, they can sign. You know what, Mr. John Smith, come and take over the country. It's your turn now. They will sign your country away without your consent. These people, the way they're behaving, we should make
it is a.
Do you know what Ghana did?
What they call blackmail. You know, a lot of
Ghana signed their international airport, one of the terminals, to the US for the US to be using. Yeah, this is. It's just some of the things we do. It's unbelievable. Our leaders, some of the things they are doing. It's just, and they don't consult the people. They just go ahead and do it. The same thing happened in Zambia the other day, and Somali president called for Americans to come in. These people just keep. and they refuse to use their own people. Somebody tell me, maybe there's somewhere in a clause where when during the time when we're getting independence, they put a clause somewhere that says we're not allowed to use our people to defend the continent. Because I fear that something, it doesn't make sense. No, how is it that uniformly we are doing the same thing in all these countries?
But it does make sense. It makes all the sense. Again, you never gained your freedom. It's like make believe. They fooled you into thinking you're free and you have a leader when it's still the West that's ruling everything. You got to go to them to ask them, can this be done? You have to go to them to say what cannot be done. And again, they're making sure that they have easy access with no restrictions to do whatever they want to do. Now, everywhere else on the planet can defend itself, but because of what happened in Germany and all that other stuff back in the turn of the century. But they're defending themselves, so how is it okay for them but not you? It's like people have to wake up and say enough is enough. Because they don't want your resources anymore. They want your land. And they will dump every last one of y'all in the middle of the ocean and say swim.
I've been pushing it in Nigeria this thing. Whenever I'm talking to them, I said they need to start thinking about having a law. They need to be passing a law. I think of all African countries at this stage, they should be suspicious of their leaders. They should be passing a law before the leaders bring in foreign troops into their countries. They should consult the people in a referendum, because this thing that they are doing, they will show up in your country. You will not know. This is terrible, terrible precedence that is happening on the continent. And the people, they need to be waking up to this one. That's one of the ways to stop, at least halt them from coming in. Then you force your leaders now to say, you know what, we need to upgrade our security posture here. This is crazy.
But which country? I can't remember the country right now that they stopped elections and that right now they don't have a leader. Because see, the problem with the leaders is that they're like just like here, copy paste. It's just a different face, but it's the same action. So if you replace another leader with a different leader, but they're still doing the same thing, then you really don't have no difference. It's just another face sitting at the table collecting a different check.
That's why the people need to check them. When I talk to Nigeria, I keep telling them, you people need to pull power away from the center. Make things transparent. Make things so that you can have a say in what is going on. If you leave your leaders to decide things, they are all sold out.
Yeah.
Let's see whether they can bribe everybody. Because if you take the power to the people, they will have to bribe everybody for the people to agree with them. So bring the power to the people, make them so that they always have to consult if they want to bring foreign troops into the country. Make it so that all the money they are spending, you can see it. Anything you cannot see, try to make sure you see it. Because the more the people see it, the more power over the system. And,
because
that way it's harder to
bring
corrupt.
it down to the people to make that decision, that would be the fairest and way to do it, where you could actually know that the people's will is done. I mean, here we have the legislative branch. It makes it a little bit more difficult, but they could be bribed. You got 100 senators. Okay, we just cut 100 checks. So it's whatever you can put in there that puts that layer where we're going to check what you. Because see, the problem is if nobody's checking what you're doing, you're gonna do whatever you want to do, and who's going to check me? And they know no one's going to check them.
Yeah, check and balance. That's one thing that the continent has to show that we got elect president. And
I mean, I don't know if
African government should show
be added in whereby if you do this, and this, where it puts our sovereignty in jeopardy, you gotta go right now. No going back around the board. No this, that. Pack your bags. You're out.
One thing, BJ, I want to welcome Marie Antoinette. Also, she's been waiting there.
Hi everyone.
How you doing, Marie Antoinette? We got Tunaja today.
Yes, yes, I heard. I have my chemistry book ready and open for my nuclear lecture. I am grateful. I'm a big fan of Two Nigers. Yes. Yeah, I'm just listening quietly in the background. But I'm very much in support of advancing our security. And I really think that we should learn Korean. Miko already knows it. Not all of us, but a few of us should learn Korean and start being friendly with North Korea.
Mm. That
North Korea, China, I would say China and India. It doesn't matter really. I actually think that we have the capacity to defend ourselves, because in the end, what did the Taliban need? The Taliban didn't need anybody to make the life of the Americans miserable, and we are worse. That we are even far worse than the Taliban. And the Internet is far more hostile to Western powers than the Afghanistan, and we can make life very difficult. Our leaders are just not doing it. For whatever, see, okay, they also have what they call the standby force on the African continent, and all the regions have put it together. The West African area has the ECOWAS standby force. East Africa has their own. The only reason why that has not been actioned yet is because the continent, they are busy debating whether it should be under the control of African Union, or whether it should be under control of at least have some kind of this in a connection with the UN. And it turns out that Nigeria is one of the biggest spoilers, because when Nigeria is saying that it should have some kind of connection with the UN, and I think the reason why they want that is because so they can get money from the UN. It's just I just can't believe it. When I saw it that Nigeria is one of the countries that is blocking this thing, it just tells you why we are where we are. These people, can you not know you need to take care of your continent? These forces have been set up by and large in all the different regions in Africa. They've been set up already. All you have to action them. They are relatively small, but you can increase the size the moment everything starts functioning. And they just haven't moved. African men, especially sub-Saharan African leaders, man, those people, man, I don't know what to do with them. Everyone I've met so far, all the ones we've talked to during this election season in Nigeria, all of them seem to be coming across as if they are complacent. They don't seem to understand the predicament we are in. And I push them, believe me, I don't give them space at all. And people are beginning to call me a troublemaker because why should I take that nonsense? When you ask them, our military is small, they start giving all kinds of excuses why other militaries are bigger. It's like...
But to Nigeria, they do understand. They just know that that's your problem. I got an exit pass, so if anything start hitting me, I'm out of here. That's their whole mindset. I mean, it's just like most
one thing
politicians.
One thing you see, one thing you brought up about the Taliban. Okay, how many times the leaders been under a sniper and got killed? You understand? But one thing is, they had the patriotic movement instilled in them, and they were adding, you kill one, there's another one coming in, there's another one coming, there's another one coming, and they notice that these guys are not going to flinch. These people they have time, they are home, right? They don't go anywhere. At the same time, you see, one thing that we're not teaching in our continent is patriotism, and patriotism comes through your history. And if you don't really, for example, when I went to school in Ethiopia, I was taught the real history, the real heroes, and then there's this thing in your body that flows. It gives you goosebumps. It's like, oh my God, these guys really sacrificed themselves. Full, and the leaders right up front saying, hey, we're gonna hit this enemy. And now, if there's other clips, I'll send you some links. Today we have the war Fukara. Fukara comes deep inside where it resonates to the rest of the warriors, and they become like will die to to end of it, and they never return. And that part of history is omitted. Not during the colonialism. How many young fought colonialism? They were the heroes. They are the heroes. They never been talked about over and over. Each class, every year, you got to learn about somebody. Who's the hero of your country? And once you start learning on how this independence is obtained, then you have that patriotism that comes in. And then in your circle of presidency, you got to show the world that it take one with still more coming. That is what we're missing in Africa. Our history has been robbed. Well, right now, you got so much entertainment, it's even going deeper on the other side because they're not learning it in school. How can you bring patriotism it comes from the inside? You ask a Nigerian, you're not Nigerian enough. He's gonna fight you, right? But when it comes to the real fight, to the enemy, he probably have a second thought. You understand?
What I suspect is going on is that, sorry for interrupting. What I suspect is going on is that we have not been involved in a first world conflict. Most African countries, like what Ukraine is going through right now, we have not been involved in such a conflict where we are using the most advanced technologies and engaging in conflict like that. Most African countries just skirmish among themselves. Look at the kind of war that just happened in Burkina Faso. It just basically compared to the Nigerian military, that's just like a small garrison in Lagos that can take all of them out. That's the problem. We have not been involved in a major conflict, and if we were, you will see that the way we look like would be different. And I know, if you can remind me of the last time we engaged a first world country in on face head-to-head conflict.
Ethiopia.
And how long ago was that?
From Menelik, the first war, when the Italians came down, and at the same time during Haile Selassie, the second time they want to come down.
Okay, so that was quite a while ago.
We had 4 million. But look where Ethiopia is fighting. Look at even now what she's fighting. She's still fighting.
Yeah.
Look at the war between in the TPLF, basically bringing in-house war. You understand? Who's funding it? We still have war.
Yeah, it's happening in Nigeria too.
We're still having the war with the West. You understand?
Not the same. It's not like fighting with them with those missiles and everything.
Yeah, who created Boko Haram?
Oh, they did them now. They did, and engineered it.
No. They created it, and now they said, "Oh, we're gonna fight it. Don't worry, we're gonna do this." The same thing. TPLF. It was on the CIA list, okay, as a terrorist organization before. And we're talking about 1977. No, 77. Once they gained a position, now they said, "Oh, we can corrupt this one." You understand? Because it was a terrorist list to begin with. Now he's in power, so you might as well, you either join them or you break away. But they needed to join because they saw an opportunity now to come to the Red Sea and fight Eritrea. 20 years sanction.
So what's happening with what's happening with Ethiopia right now with this team? Because I know that the war situation has been going. Your guy, has he decided to start changing his security posture? Because I still think that the military size of Ethiopia is still relatively small. What's wrong with our people? This guy is in war and he's still leaving millions of people at home.
So Niger,
listen,
it's good to hear
850,000 soldiers.
What? I'm looking at 60,000
soldiers.
I'm looking at 160 here.
And that's the number that they show. But 850,000 soldiers.
That you are saying Ethiopia has 850,000 soldiers?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I didn't know that. It's not shown here. How is that missing? It's not showing up on any data.
No. These are the data, and specifically, most of them are from the Oromo region, and they have a lot. And the Amara side has more, and then you have the militia that is that's coming in also. So,
is there any way we can track these numbers?
Yeah, these numbers, they can fluctuate. You know, at one point, there was a flux of people that want to be conscripted to the war.
Yeah.
And Ethiopia said, no, not this round. You know, we got so many people. I mean, they literally turned down all this youth that came in. They said, no, we got enough people. So it's not on the 60,000. When you have 110 million population and take some percentage,
yeah,
you see what I'm talking about. It got flooded. The registration area got flooded. People want.
Yeah, I was aware of that, but to be fair though, Biggie, I wasn't very impressed with you know, when the war happened, suddenly everybody starts rushing to go and join the military, because that should have been put in place already before that time.
Remember, 80% of the military equipment and the real trained one were in TPLF zone. Ethiopia started from scratch. The Air Force and all that was in the TPLF hand.
My God.
All this heavy artillery was in the TPLF area. So Ethiopia has to revamp, repurchase all this equipment and build upon that. And she's got the manpower to be trained. You should see, you know, there are so many videos out there. Every graduation of new soldiers, that commandos and stuff like that coming in. I mean, it's a
they do all this is in Nigeria too. See, what you're noticing is that if a country is changing the military posture to what is required right now, everybody in the world will see it. You will see the country marshalling itself for this is changing the security posture. Right now, the security posture of 100 million is not that much bigger than this in terms of population, Ethiopia. But Russia has well over 1 million this in soldiers involved in their military. So Ethiopia should, because they don't have as much technology, they should have more. Because you don't have much technology, you should have more people. Because human beings are a form of technology.
Imagine when this thing happened 3 years ago, right? 3 years ago, Ethiopia thought she's got all her military, her asset is fine. We're going to be negotiating. We're going to talk to TPLF and all that. No problem, right? But 80% of your artillery and heavy duty machinery, tanks and all that are in Tigray. And then they attack the command post. They run them with the truck. And some of them ran to Eritrea. Okay? Wow. They had nothing. Nothing. 80%. They have to, you're fighting something with 80%, the latest war machines, versus this guy got 20%. What, you know, how much artillery? And I think that's the number that you saw on the 60,000.
No, 160. It says 160,000.
Right, and that with 20% artillery, war machines. Okay. So he has to rebuild after the war. He was not even building anything else, but he was negotiating with them. They knew his weakness, so they used his weakness and turned it against him. Yeah. So now when it came, hey, you know, we got to do what we got to do, then people start being, oh, wait a minute, what's going on? And when they heard that the North Command Post got destroyed, that's when people just said, you know what, I want to, you know, I'm going to conscript myself. I'm going to be part of the military. That's when people start flowing. So that means this new military is about 2 years, not even 2 years old. So
yeah, no, I'm not watching the numbers. I'm always watching to see whether the numbers change, because I've not seen any. I'm still looking for a sub-Saharan African country other than Eritrea change their security posture in the last 3 years, and nothing has moved. They are still remaining. Yeah, I noticed that their leaders are very bold now. You see, the Ugandan president is bold. Kagame will talk, and Ghanaian, they will talk, all talk. but they don't have anything to back themselves up at night when they go to sleep. They are sleeping on a wind and a prayer that nobody comes and takes them out at night. Yeah, the way these men live, I don't understand how they can go to bed.
So,
in short, they know what they are doing. They are all serving. They are all serving at the pleasure of foreign powers. This is why many of them end up in Washington, like in Nigeria now. Most of our leaders go to Washington and London. Most of the time, you rarely see them go to India, China, or Russia. It's always Washington and this in England. That's where they end up.
Yeah. I got an architect online.
But tonight, even with you saying that, I'm sorry.
No, I got an architect that's been in and out. He's been dropping. So, Ridge, you got Tanaja on the floor too. I know you're listening. Can you talk now? I know you've been dropping.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
We can hear you now.
Okay, no, I was saying hi to Niger. It's been a long time.
Hi, it's been a long time.
Yes, you gotta come more often and give us energy. We need energy.
Yeah, my Nigerian brothers are a bit of a handful, and those ones they are a bit of a handful, man. I'm dealing because what I should be doing is, I always said that we should try to operate efficiently, so that you go to where change is about to happen and try to, share ideas as much as possible, because this is Nigeria's. There's going to be an election in February, and I wanted to get involved and see what minds, because I've gotten involved to the point whereby I've engaged with 2 presidential candidates now, and there's a 3rd one, and I'm not giving them an easy ride, So, all right, so yeah, sorry, you can go ahead.
No, that's great, man. That's great. It's so interesting. You said you should go where the things changing, because that's where we actually should be for real. But each of us have our own part to play. Some of us gonna be in those areas. Some of us gonna be outside with the soldiers. Some of us are gonna be in a room gathering intelligence. You know what I mean? But yeah, we really should go where it changes, so that we can use our ideas, spread ideas, try to contribute to each other's ideas until we can create a functioning system, like a nervous system. But that's good. It's good to see you again, and good to see everyone else here too.
Good to see you too.
Thank you. I'll be listening to see what you guys talk about, because I'm interested to hear about what you guys' thoughts are and what's happening in all around the world, because right now it's not even just in Burkina Faso. Those are just things that are happening on the side. It's like that's happening for real too, but there's something big, like everyone can feel it. Like
and it seems to be popping up everywhere we're at. All these different little conflicts. I mean, and like tonight, when you were saying that they're going to Washington and London, those are the central power of the Western civilization. So are they going to do reconnaissance after they're all done? Here's the whole playbook. Here's everything that you need to know in order for you to just walk through the front door and take all the China. I mean, that's a problem right there. You're the president of this country, and then you running off.
Yeah, literally, we are living in a dream world where your presidential candidate, that's the current president in office, the candidate that is running, because this president is leaving office now. His party is the party in government. The candidate was not present for a major signing yesterday because he wants to go to London. That is the dream world we live in. If this was another country, that would be like a killer for any election. And I hope that guy never gets elected.
No, you know what, the Virgin, but also we have to use our portion of our perception at that time to think about how we're gonna make sure that our people are not consumed by this mode of production that is in a state of perpetual chaos. We have to make sure that we think about how we're gonna not make sure that our people don't get sucked into that. Because remember, these wars, our people have been getting sucked into these wars. I mean, Algeria, France, Like how many soldiers died for real, fighting some war they never hear about yet. Somebody come kidnap them, take them somewhere. You know what I mean? And have them tell
And then
them,
become a
grab them
legion.
and tell them fight or die. Like, we have to make sure that that doesn't happen again. That's why I believe
Well,
that
they're coming to that.
but
Richard, they're coming to that.
okay.
They're going to be harvesting some
Oh yeah,
bodies.
of course.
And they started already harvesting. Who's the youngest in the continent? The continent is Africa.
Exactly.
How to harvest.
And that's what I'm saying. And that's what I'm saying. That's why it's important for us now to also think about how we're going to create some vessel, something. You know what I mean? Something. And also not just vessel, but the ideas that this vessel are gonna have to use in order to make sure our people are sucked into a system maybe that can prevent that from happening, like an alternative. You know what I mean? Like, otherwise, if we don't have an alternative, then you know what I mean? What are we gonna do?
When you say alternative, what do you mean?
An alternative system.
Oh yeah, we can alternative system. You can create any system really. Our problem is that we don't have the muscle to push back on people that want to take control, because this is a game of, if you want to do your own thing, yeah, try, but you better give me what I want.
Yes, exactly.
At least that's how it works, and the way they keep control of you is democracy.
Yeah, and I heard you guys talking about NATO and those things. Everyone knows what would have happened when they destroyed Libya. Everyone knew. Gaddafi was the person that was keeping those people in, like, kind of in check. You know what I mean? Making sure that all the tribes bond with each other and create one unit or something. I'm not saying that the man is the best person, but they knew when they destroyed Libya, that whole area that you see filled with terrorism right now, they knew that whole area would be filled with terrorism because these tribes are gonna fight each other for resources.
Yeah, they're still in the oil.
They're
still in the oil.
They hacked when they killed Libya. You know, when they destroyed Libya, you know what they did? They hacked Africa. They hacked that whole area. So now they killed Gaddafi and said that he was some this and this and that. Then the terrorists start. Now they say, oh, you guys have terrorism. We need to help you with that terrorism. Now they're back in there again, doing whatever they want.
And the conflict has yet to cease.
And they're still in the oil.
They're
still in the oil.
It will never cease.
Gaddafi was doing a good job at, containing all those extremists in that area, trying to calm down, whatever those things. And if you notice recently, I think 2 years ago, the Chad head of state was very, very strong at fighting terrorism that were, trying to come into Nigeria. And he too was taken out. He went to the battlefield and he died this in there. So this problem has been going on. They keep taking leaders out that are very, very tough and with terrorism. So that, in other words, they have food in the Sahel area. In other words, if you do that, you will surround Nigeria, because there's Cameroon, the French are already there, Benin Republic, they are already Republic. Then now you have French troops in Benin, Niger Republic, and you have these American troops there too. So it's a big problem. Recently though, in Niger, the citizens, there was a big demo where they were asking the French to leave the country. So, well, it's funny how they were all quiet about the Americans though. You don't see a big crowd coming out as they get the Americans out, because I believe they are a threat to the Nigerian state. Everybody knows Nigeria is a strategic control. If you control Nigeria, you literally have control half of sub-Saharan Africa. If you control Nigeria, and this is a problem, and they are doing their best to make sure they keep tight grip of Nigeria, because this is why some of the conversations I'm having in Nigeria, you will be surprised some of the things our people think about the world. They don't give them this type of information we are discussing here. You rarely hear it. So, but the more they know.
Tanaja, that means you guys have to definitely know who are all the puppets they have floating around in place, because they're it's like pawns in a chess. When one pawn is knocked out, they put the next one in to keep their agenda. And again, like you said, if they can keep control of Nigeria, they know they have a stronghold in Africa. And so you're looking at Burkina Faso situation. Now we have an area that we can literally dump all our weapons and everything else in the middle of it. And how far is Burkina Faso to Nigeria? I mean, they could start so many different conflicts at the drop of a hat.
Yeah. You notice that Ghana is not touched by some of all these things because obviously America has got an airport base. Airport base. They are basically using Ghana as a kind of command center right now. And the thing these our leaders do is that they allow them to come in, hoping that because you are close to them, maybe like the way the Japanese are,
that they'll be nice to you.
Yeah, they will be nice. Sometimes if you are relevant to them, they are nice to you. They keep you strong so that you can be able to challenge their other enemy. Like they use the Japanese against the Chinese, and they use the South Koreans against the North Koreans, and that's what they are doing with India right now. Can you believe that the India's defense attaché to Washington right now can walk into Pentagon without security escorts? They said this is something that even American officials have to have escort follow them, but they
but that's because all the money that we owe them, so then they can demand certain things.
Oh no, because they need India against China. They need India strategically against China,
and then on top of it, so you know, it's the okay. You give me this, and I'll do this. Everything is surrounded by a dollar when it comes to anything move that America makes.
America doesn't make any move.
You got enough dollars to control us, then we will bow down. But until you have enough dollars to control us, we're never going to bow down.
I think it's how nations behave. They go for their own interests, and it's up to us to start doing that for our own interests. Because when Russia even sometimes, it's because Russia feels that India is in their interest, and that is how nations behave. And there's no point pointing fingers at America and say America wants to do what is good for America, and they are pan-European. They are not ashamed of doing that. The problem is that we see these things happening and we just watch it, and like we are passengers watching it happen in our countries. Anytime we try to change something, they are ahead of us, because before you know it, they will just go and make a decision. Our leaders will just go and do something, and before you know it, they are already inside your country with military bases, and you can't do anything about it.
And your leaders are given the playbook. Here.
How do you stop it? For me, it's only through the people you can stop it. If you sensitize the people to demand for specific changes, and if you sensitize people to value their own security and their own survival more than they rely, acquires to other powers, maybe that would, in short, not even maybe, that is the only part to getting yourself
the only way
back.
to stop it is to pull the power away, that they cannot be allowed to continue to do this. I mean, I don't know if it means rewriting your constitution or whatever, but because as long as they got that power, they're going to continue to do what they're doing, because it's in their, not yours, it's in their best interest. And they feel like no matter what happens, they got a free plane ride out to wherever they want to go.
One other thing that caught to me, sorry, let me just say this because I don't know whether I have a lot of time. One other thing that caught me, and during this election, that normally I wouldn't say that. I feel like Nigeria needs a Southern Christian president in Nigeria, because part of the problem we have in Nigeria is that some of our presidents, because they are Muslims, they tend to focus more on the Middle East. They don't care about the diaspora. They don't care about the Nigerian diaspora, because generally the Nigerian diaspora that comes to the West, they tend to be Christians, and maybe they don't even follow their Christian faith. They are more like, LGBT and woke people. So they don't care about them. They don't, want to reach out to them at all. Not if they cannot even reach out to the Nigerian diaspora, not to mention reaching out to the diaspora like the Ghanaians try to do. So this is part of the problem. If it was a Southern president that is Christian and Western oriented, more likely, one of the candidates right now, Peter Obi, he's already talking about the Nigerian diaspora, and he is more likely to reach out to the wider diaspora, because we are not using all the chips on the board. We as sub-Saharan Africans, we are not using all the chips on the board. We are just walking with our hands tied behind our back constantly, because we have a massive diaspora that can come in and change the dynamics, that can even act overseas to block some of the things that they want to do from there. Look at what happened with Ethiopia. There was a protest in Washington when there was something going on in Ethiopia. The people in America came out to protest. Many of them, it's in East Africans, came out to protest against the CNN and the way they are reporting events. So those type of things can be magnified greatly if Nigeria was reaching out. Because I know a Nigerian guy that told me the other day that his grandfather's grandfather lost 7 members of his family, the transatlantic, this is slave trade. That because of that, he even described the wars that led to it. He knows the history. He described the wars that led to his family members losing. Then he went and did a DNA test and found so many of his family members in the diaspora. Imagine that. And personally, I'm even getting paranoid that people are doing this DNA test, because DNA testing, they can use it to link you to members, and these people have power to be able to threaten you, you know, that if you do anything, they will come after you. We hear about how they talk about in Hollywood, even Hollywood.
Don't forget about the bioweapons. So
That's what I'm saying. Now, when you start giving them all this your information, they can use it to try members. As a matter of fact, I've seen a program where they threaten somebody like that. They'll wipe out all your anybody linked to you. They wipe everybody that is linked to you. The ones that knew you, the ones that didn't know you, and all the rest. They will wipe everything out. So that kind of stuff, you have to be careful when you are sharing information, because most of the information we are sharing, like now we are on YouTube, we are on their machines. Basically, Africa doesn't have its own. You know, India has India, Asia has China, Russians have their own. It's only us that don't have anything. We don't control anything. I don't even care about controlling the internet. Just control your land. Not allow people come in there until we sort ourselves out. Africa is big. We not managed to work together, and we have all the ingredients there. We have the African Standby Force. We have if you know how many things African leaders have initiated but never got to work, you'll be surprised. Quite a lot of things they've done, but it's almost like that last ingredient. They will just say, don't do it, don't go ahead. Just use it to buy time and waste everybody's time and not do anything. And that is something that I think anybody that wants to change something on the continent can look at those areas, because it doesn't take a lot to activate those things. You see what I mean? Like a president like the Kenyan president now, he sounds very, very, you know, independent. Independent he is, because, you know, Kenya has a large British military base in the country. And their military is not exactly very strong. The power differential is massive. So I don't know how independent he thinks he is. So, but he's quite independent. If someone like that decides that, you know what, I will push this forward, and the East African Standby Force is going to be activated, and, you know, push the other Southern African countries to do the same, maybe the Nigerian side will move. I think the next Nigerian president will move. Many Nigerians are beginning to feel this thing, now that thing that says, okay, you know what, we need to exert ourselves a little bit, because they are beginning to feel the heat from all the bombings and all the kidnapping. They are feeling like they need to react to something. And this is why one of the candidates is so popular right now. And a lot of people are passionate and they really want to get him elected so that they can, you know, hope change. I'm not so sure whether that is going to bring change. I keep telling them, you are the change. Or you have to watch your leaders closely, because these leaders, they are all marching to Washington and London. They will go and sign you away. If you don't make them put you as their top priority, they will sign you away. So that's, you know, the kind of things I try to say to them, because the problem is so deep that to rely on one leader is dangerous. You have to rely on the people, because if the people understand that they want to defend their country, no bribe is going to be enough. As a matter of fact, they bribe people, that's good, isn't it? They are giving the people a lot of money for free, and then they will still want to protect their own interests anyway. So that's the way I try to approach it, and I will see what good comes from that. You know, you do what you can. I'm all the way in London here. I'm not exactly on the ground. I even know some people that are already trying to create political parties that are going to be spanning the continent. You know about it now. You know, Kifaru is trying to do stuff like that. So that people are trying, doing a few experiments here and there to see what works. And I don't know whether I will have a lot of time to do that. Maybe we're already out of time. I don't know, but you do what you can. And believe in me, the more I talk about this, and the more I get angry, and the more if I get a chance to talk to any of the major candidates, they are not going to like me. I'll tell you, they're not going to like me. I would rather, I would rather make a nuisance of myself than go there and ask a petty question. I will shout at them and I will say no, because the first one I said stop lying to the people. That's why I told him you should just stop lying to the people, because clearly the country is not well defended at all.
Well, no, but you speaking up is extremely important, because if you don't ask the question, and many people might be thinking it's not on public record, and that they won't be able to be held accountable for how they respond. If they don't say nothing, then the people are like, well, he's not even saying. Well, is he really looking at our best interests? See, they love it when you don't ask the questions, because then they like, well, we didn't think it was an issue with the people. So it's important.
Because they come with all this title, they'll say your excellency. When by the time you are calling them your excellency and all that stuff, you can see why it's hard, like you are talking to somebody on YouTube. So, but I blow all those ones aside. It's very interesting because by instinct, because when I see them, I get upset actually, because I feel like these people are the ones responsible for our problems. They keep us asleep. That's what they are doing. Yeah. They just sit there, make us feel like everything is okay. Let's just do this. Let's just tweak around the tail of it. That's going to solve anything. Sorry, Biggie, go ahead.
Yeah, one of the things that really that is important. If you want to go one step ahead, okay, the first thing that all Africans, when they have a democratically elected president, no matter what, whether you are the opposition or not, he's the president. You have to have that respect and protection of your leader that you elected. He's officially in the office. The problem in Africa is if he fails one thing, man, they put you on the mud. When he is successful, they bring you up. And then, I mean, it's like a seesaw. You understand? And he's a human being like anybody else, right? He came into leadership. He wants to make some changes, and he did a great job. And you have to look at some of the leaders, they're young. And these young leaders, they make mistakes. They're bound to make mistakes. But if the population, for me, a leader that's been elected democratically, or without no fuss bus, everything is approved, he's a leader. No matter what, even if you are the opposition, don't make him a target. Because if you're gonna start really disliking him and exposing him on a different level, what you're doing is inviting direct attack to your own country. So your patriotism is to protect your leadership. Show the world that if he dies, if you kill him or anything happened to him, we got more. Because the people shows that they're developing that patriotism to protect their leaders. And you'll have this committee that's going to be really to get to work, because you want another election, right? Like any election, if he sees his project is going to take him 10 years, okay, or 6 years, 7 years, whatever the project that he's got to improve the standard of, actually is to improve the standard of living of his people. Number one fight that we're doing is to fight poverty. It's across Africa. And anybody that's doing something about it and is elected, the people, whether he makes a mistake, whether he makes something, support him so he won't repeat that same mistake. And let him feel guilty, because he's going to be turning down all these million of people in his country. And in fact, it's all the 1.4 billion in the continent. Because this leadership, if he's not supported, if he does one mistake and he got all these people. Oh man, forget it. You know, he's young.
But
He's
the problem is that
you understand?
Yeah, I agree.
We
I
got to
agree with you.
support.
But some
Here
of them
in the
come
US,
on.
right? One thing. In the US,
Okay.
every 4 years, we vote, right? Within the 4 years that he works, you'll see all the criticism, left and right, left and right, left and right. But if you really look at the real populace, they don't go in front of the White House demonstrating, dude, you're not doing your job. You know, in Africa, they will bombard you electronically, which hurts the most because he doesn't have all the protocols to fight back. And he cannot fight every fight. So instead of going one step forward, you're going 2 steps back. Okay, my people didn't understand that, so let's take it easy. Let's try this move. So every time there's a reset, our leaderships are open for their target for any foreign or internal enemies. So what did you vote for him anyway? You know, what did you vote for him anyway? If the people that really vote, if they don't protect him, forget the one that didn't vote for him, but he had the majority, that majority should protect the leadership. And they should feel patriotic enough to voice it out, fight all the negativity that comes. Hey, listen, no, give him a break. He's young. He make a mistake. Fine. You understand? This, it comes from the inside. So that's what we need. That the people when you vote, it's not a joke. This guy is taking you to some direction you may regret, but unusually is the guy that's going to give you a path at least for the next 4 or 5 years. And then you can reconsider to get another candidate. And the next candidate will come if he sees something that is not being done. That's the competition. And at the same time, you protect those because you got to groom them. And before they get into the office, you got to make sure they understand where they come from. What's the Africa? What means Africa? He has to understand the whole Africa, including his own nation. And every move he does in his country, it affects the rest of the 55 countries. If he's weak, they have to point out. And in fact, having the meeting with him saying, hey, listen, you're not going the right direction. They don't have that because they're all divided. That's the way they want to keep them. But a strong leadership that appear on any part of Africa, that strongest one, and that keeps working, especially the young president like Abiy, he's got a long way to do on what he's planning to do. But again, you know, what they gave him more. And it's going to come, he's going to overcome it because he made a good ally with Eritrea. Eritrean president has been in power how long now? You know, forever. Because he doesn't want to get any piece of his country butchered out. To buy Eritrea, it takes you about, what, $50 billion? You can buy the whole country. And we don't want that. So these are the things. By getting originally patriotic people to put them together and let them be the force to turn this whole thing around. Because they will question every country in the African continent of their leadership. Even what's his name, Kagame, said, we know which one of you are corrupt. We know which one of you are taking money. He said it in public. In the UN, in the AU. He said, we know, but we're going to have to come up with a way to that never happen because we're selling out our continent. That's one of Kagame's speech. Because they know who's the corrupt. They know who's the one that's taking money. So that tells you there's internal intelligence that we're not sure to see because, again, they'll create chaos within your country. And pure example is Ethiopia. Pure example is Nigeria. On a big scale, you know, it's just open. You can see it. And that's what they're trying to create. So we, the people, we, the Africans, No matter what that president is, we got to support him, no matter what. And this kind of coup every 9 months now, you know, in Burkina Faso, could have just prevented by the people demand. Said, hey, you know, we don't recognize you. But guess what? It's a military. So you got to teach a military that they cannot do that. Have you seen Abiy when they had 250 military personnel that marched in the parliament? What did he do? He's a colonel. So he used his rank and he said, give me 50 push-ups. And he took his coat. It's still on YouTube, by the way. And he said, if you don't know how to do it, this is the way you do it. And he just went on the floor and performed push-up in front of those 250 people that came in to ask whatever. It was like, you know, raise, you know, we're not getting paid enough. That was the demand. And he make up drop and do their 50 push-up. Discipline. So you got to discipline your military in order to recognize you as chief of commander of your military, and you have to communicate with your generals. If one general is going to go stray on you, God forbid, this is what things change real quick in Africa. It sounds like the old colony, you know, they'll go and come in your port or your main city. Okay, I'm the king now. I'm the ruler now. You're done. Everybody bows down. Yeah, he came into the capital. But what about the rest of the 20 million people? They're sitting duck. And they're surprised. Oh, my God, you know, we got this guy. And they have to understand patriotism. You got to fight for your right. So that's what we lack. We can talk about it. But are you ready to die for your country? Are you ready to die for Africa? That's the message up for everybody. And demand, you know, I ask each soul that is African, instead of talking, are you committed to die for Africa? Answer that question. Each individual African has to answer that question for himself. Are you ready? Or are you just a thought? For me, I'm ready. I'm ready anytime.
Yeah,
because
you have to be.
Our fathers protected it. So we have to bring that strength within the young, because this young that we have, 20 years old, average, has to understand what it means to be patriotic, what it means to defend your country, protecting your brother, your sisters, immediate family, right? Guess what? You have an extension now of 20 million, 100 million people. Are you willing to die for that? To maintain peace, to protect your government. That's the fire they need. And this comes, you know, by the media. Are you patriotic enough to die for Africa? Not just for your country, for Africa. That's how you can bring unity, because the next thing is going to say, oh, Africa, or my country. Am I willing to die for my country? Isn't it the question? So I'm going to give you the highest part of it, Africa, as the whole continent. You ask that question, and you're scared. Well, commitment. Commit to your state country, to your nation. Are you committed to die for your country? That comes and understood that you will die for Africa, because your country is African. And that's the thing that we need to propagate. Are you patriotic enough? Do you love Africa enough to die for it? That question is going to ring on your conscience, because this is an ask. And we should, any media that we have, all African media, they should hashtag, are you African enough?
Yeah. I think in the end, the way it has to this thing come down, it's not even. I'm not even sure that question is even because in the end, if you're not ready, you will still die anyway. So that is, they will decide it for you. You just die for free. That is the difference.
But it has to come. It has to come from your soul, your your being. You understand? What does it mean, me being Ethiopian, being African? You understand? What does it mean? I could have been born somewhere else, right? No, I'm born in Africa. First, accept you're born African. Whatever other country flash you, it doesn't matter. First is your country. It's your continent.
Some people would tell you that they don't care. That they don't like. Some Nigeria will say, "I don't care about Nigeria. I would rather go and fight for another country, like in Europe."
But guess
or
what,
in
though?
America.
But guess what, though? I'm not looking for him. I'm looking for the true African.
Yeah,
we're gonna need to be few of us to maintain the health of Africa. The 1.4 billion, it doesn't mean they're leaders, right? But at least they will have a peace of mind when we provide the security, the food security, and how to get the technology. They're gonna grow. They're 20 years old, man. They 20 years old. It's the youngest continent.
Yeah.
So what am I expecting?
One of the ways you can do
5
it.
years?
Can I just say something? One of the ways you can do it to expand the people you have is to let them do the summation themselves, that if they don't stand up and fight, because sometimes people go to wars and go to defend their people, not necessarily because they want to, because they have to. And if they understand that this is not necessarily, it might seem like an illusion of a choice, well, you don't have one. Because in reality, the stuff will be forced on you one way or these people are going to come and they're going to do as they like with you. Yeah, they are going to do it. So you will get more. Obviously, there will be the elite ones that will opt for it by default, because we always have that warrior class in any population. But the other population that will join this thing, the next layer will be the layer that don't have a choice, because they know full well that if they don't do anything, something bad is going to happen to them anyway.
Right. Tanaja, come to this. Like I was telling you, I've been taught my history and how heroic they were, men and women, side by side, fighting on a war. Women would pass them the ammunition, food, or a critical strategic point to pass. I mean, what they've done, right? And I grew up with that history. You understand? To tell you honestly, for what happened to the Ethiopian youth that came in voluntarily to conscribe to be part of the military, I was so proud of them, because I thought we lost that. I thought you didn't see. You see, the world didn't show about Ethiopians rushing, all these young Ethiopians coming in, rushing to register, to fight for their country. They don't show that, because this is very, very contagious for the rest of Africa. Look at a whole population of young people voluntarily to fight and die for their country. Where did you see that in Africa or in the world? Show me a country that just have this. I'm talking about 100,000 that showed up on every branch where they can register. That response right there, no matter what, the leadership got support. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At the same time, he's got pressure that comes from the West. Human rights issues, violation, war criminal, all that comes in with the package. But he got still over 100,000 young that's willing to fight. And I'm talking men and women.
I'm glad they came out, and but it would be nice to actually get a formal, like a parade or something showing the strength of this. See where the African countries are in terms of their posture, because right now,
yes, it has to. This kind of information has to spread throughout the African continent. Let the youth understand that, man, all these Ethiopians that just came out to really, they didn't need no draft to be drafted. They just came in voluntarily and questioned that how this thing happened. And if you pass it on to the rest of the continent, it just is passing like, nothing happened. But show me a country that they are full of volunteers, except the Ukraine now that everybody wanted to volunteer outside, but it's not the Ukrainian. They're forced to stay because they cannot get out. But
no, Nigeria, they want to volunteer. They don't want, the government is refusing. That is the government that is blocking it. Like I saw a video where Nigerian youths, when some people were kidnapped, the soldiers came and they were standing along the road. They was like, give me the gun, let me go. And go inside the bushes. If you don't want to go inside the bush, they were asking the soldiers to give them their gun. So Nigerians want to do something, but they keep, and they say they want to arm themselves. They keep stopping them. And there are some of them, even in the north, that form vigilante groups that go after these terrorists. It's just that the government just keeps stopping them for some strange reasons. It was like they don't want to engage.
It was created. That's the problem. It was created to create the chaos. And when they have a volunteer to really fight them, that's when they say, "Oh no, don't worry about it. We got it."
Yeah, and they haven't got it though. They haven't got it. The next thing again, the terrorists go and kidnap people again.
Tanaja, you and I are not 20 years old. Okay, you understand? We got 20 years olds out there that are desperate to understand what the hell is going on. Sometimes they get so frustrated he has no job. Maybe he just got this little entrepreneurial skill to survive on these daily things. But there are so many brains out there that graduated, has the know-how, and try to make it. And they have to fight for that. And they have to fight it with inside. What can I do? Don't sit down and just procrastinate. There's a lot of work. Go on the voluntary base. Because the youth now believe in easy money. You understand? They want to have the easy money where they can make it because it's survival. And not only survival, but if you look at it globally, the youth is trying to get and make money online, whatever that they can, and they don't want to do, the real grunt work. You understand? So what does it leave you when it comes to African seeing, so and so just went online and he's making this much money, but how many of them are making that kind of money? So the youth has to be taught. Listen, it's in front of you. The garden is in front of you. The farm is in front of you. The technology is in front of you. What can you contribute? Live your dream on what you want to do, because sometimes it doesn't pay. You understand?
Yeah.
It doesn't pay, but it will pay in the long run, because now you have acquired discipline and respect a job. You understand? And respect actually your passion. That's what you wanted to do. And that's what you're going to be going volunteer work or internship. Let me help. I don't ask much. I just want to learn. Go through that. Motivate yourself to get up in the morning. Oh, I graduated now. Nobody wants to hire me. There's no job. There's no opportunity. Don't give up. Fight it. That's what we got to teach our youth. Number one, patriotism. Patriotic enough. When I say patriotic, it's not just going on the war front. It is what you can do for your continent, for your country. Because this world, if we don't help each other and we don't seek for peace, we're always going to be destroying each other. And for those that want us to be destroying each other and arm us to destroy each other, that's the one that he's going to say no to. If they force you, okay, is that a donation? I'll accept it. Then I'll have my own pile of machinery, war machinery, that if they come back, I got something to defend with. But it doesn't work that way. You understand? But the real thing is your mind has to be set to change yourself. Every African has to have a mindset to change themselves from the situation they're in for progress. Some of the job don't pay, like I said, but at least you're doing what you passionately wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And that passion will change things. Because these guys are going to take over the world anyway. They're 20 years old. And I'm not going to keep teaching them the West did that, the West did this. I want them to start working on their own self. Let them be ready when the time comes. They'll face it off. And there will be no stopping. Because they're together now. Now they're working together. They're collaborating. They're doing everything on the cover. Because it's not just a geopolitics. Our movement in Swahili Nation One Africa is from ground up. The ground now is the youth that we have. We have so many youngs, 20 years old average. So let's, in this panel, let's look on the future, what we can do for the next 5 years. Because this young kid, 20 years old, can we create some path? Can we do something? Just us, you know, you don't have to go that far. And within the Swahili Nation One Africa family, we have the ability. It's just looking from here, not just today, but from here to 5 years, what are we trying to achieve? How can we instill this patriotism? Because I know every African is proud being African. I know that. But again, when it comes to the real point where you can give your life to it, that's it. That's it. I'm not asking you to go and die for your country now. But when the demand comes, when you're forced to, you volunteer. Yes, I'm going to protect my people. And this is how within your own community, protecting. And that's where you start peace. You see, I brought you from the continent all the way to community. And your patriotism starts within your community. And then you have all these people thinking about it.
I'm still here.
Oh, go ahead, architect. Sorry.
Carmen. No, that's good. That's good. Go ahead. You guys go. I'm just listening.
Yes. So this is what I'm talking about. Create the patriotism. Not just because you're African, yes, you're black. Yes, but what can you do? So start with self-conscious. And I said, as an African, yes, for whatever reason, it comes and I have to lay my life, I'll go for it. Because that's my destination. That's what I got to do. And I defend my continent, no matter what. If I have to write it, I'll write for it. That's one part of being patriotic. If I need to talk about it, I'm going to bring it on the open. Because this is my continent. And I have a boiling blood that I want to see change. The change for my youth that's coming in, 20 years old average. And 5 years from now, I want them to be somewhere. I want to open gates, opportunities. Because they're born successful, because they have brothers and sisters like us that wants the best for them. This is what I stand for.
Hey, Biggie, you know, pride is also built to collective engagement with your problems, eh? Like, when you engage with your problems collectively, That's how pride is also built. So that's how people build nationality, right? Like, if you know what I mean. Like, that's how
Mhm.
that's how you become truly patriotic too, because you're actually solving problems together.
Absolutely. You see, that gives you the notion to build, you see, to protect, to go forward in peace. Because you see all these families that depend on one income, okay? How they react, how they do they interact with that person. They'll protect them in any which way they can. And how does he act toward his family? He's protecting them as much as he can, financially, with everything that he can possibly give them. So the the patriotism that you ask is start with your own home. All these young kids now, if they listen, if it is shared, patriotism start in your house. Just looking at your beautiful mom, your dad, your sibling, maybe you're single. Just looking because we're all born of somebody. We have a mom and dad, single moms, single fathers. We got all kind of situations. But you, as the child, looking at that, you want to protect because this is something that you love, that you care for. And now you multiply that and you go from that environment and you go around and next neighbor does the same thing. So what happened? They understand each other because you know what? All of them are protecting their own family to the best they can. So on the average, everybody loves his family and they'll do anything to protect their family. So now when you look at it on a bigger scale, you start loving the whole region. You start loving your country. You start loving your country. That's how you bring from the bottom up. How about we're talking about 20 years old? How about the youth that is in the 12 now, in the teen? Okay, what kind of message? What kind of teaching we're going to provide them? Because this teaching, it doesn't cost money. You only need practice, good practice. You know, they took the morale classes, you know, all across the globe, so nobody will have a morale, so they can be a self machine, contributing to their agenda. But when it comes to morale, this is the living. You're always going to care for it. And this is the message that we got to pass to you. That it start from home. You're the hero of the house, no matter what age you are, and you start building. But for those that are already mature, they're over 18, we're going to make sure that this has to be revised. You care so much about your family. Yes. If you say yes, do you care of your community? If you say yes, and do you care of your country? And you say yes, and feel it exactly the way you feel to protect your family, then your patriotism will be built upon it. It's just something that they don't revise. They don't see how protective they are within their own immediate families because they're the heroes. They always think about that.
So, Biggie, I want to ask you,
Mhm.
now that we see that we have run out of time,
Yeah, getting closer.
getting closer now to where action will have to be taken. How do you see um the beginning playing out? Because I'm trying to figure it out, like how they're gonna approach this, because they already can get Russian gas and other resources now, so we all know what's gonna happen next. That's why Chinese. That's why the Chinese was in Mali today,
Mhm.
making all kind of deals. Everybody
Mhm.
see everybody's seeing what's happening, but like how someone said earlier, tonight just said earlier, we're just like on the bus. We're on the bus and we don't know where the bus going, but we know the bus going somewhere.
Yep.
So what do you think? What do you think need to be like? What do you think the first thing?
The,
Um,
fir- the first thing I would say, from all the information that I gathered and following everything else, okay,
mhm,
everybody's trying to play the blame game, okay, and in reality, in the history on what's going on today, where it's stopping, it- it's stopping. It's like this, you have a continuous circuit, okay, and you want to bypass to connect to another circuit. Either you're going to have a parallel circuit, which is going to be really creating another resonance, okay, and maybe your circuit is not going to be terminated correctly, where you're going to have a spark. You understand? And that spark is the one for me that I'm paying attention, because that spark gave us a warning already. Okay, we got the warning on what is going to happen. Definitely, if that spark happened, that means you don't have a circuit. So that circuit is broken. And every leader that I've seen in the UN, everybody is trying to abide by the UN chapter. Okay. But the problem is the chapter is written clearly, but they kind of put so many information under the rug, like, oh, this many people voted on this. This is how it's going to go. And then when it comes to the final uh, conclusion, when it comes to the Security Council on how they decide on things and what they're trying to enforce on people on this circuit that is broken, because this circuit is what moves the world. You take one, and a major one, where you have all your transformer and everything else. Now you're creating another circuit to attach to another transformer. It cannot handle it because it's not ready, never been tested. So we are at the time that we're getting tested globally, because the fact that these regions have gone to Russia, the fact today Ukraine signed to join NATO is adding fuel to the fire. So your little short circuit basically spilled fuel to it. And it's so at the brink. Few people are talking about it on a serious note. And those that talk about this, they saw long coming, because we talked about it, Ridge. Because right now we just at the point was the checkmate, okay, and then you have the blow up of the two lines. One of them is not even commissioned, and the one that's commissioned is blown in two pieces, in two places, and within the European Union territory. Now the blame is coming left and right. It doesn't matter after this. It doesn't matter, because even if you want to resuscitate somebody, you need the you got the oxygen, but you don't have the wiring
mm. I
to
don't-
receive the oxygen.
yeah, for real. But
So right now, it's just, I would say, to pray as hard as we can. So some,
Biggie.
you know,
Oh, and I tell you, I didn't
so
laugh just now. I didn't mean to laugh just now.
no, you understand?
Yeah, I understand. Yes, I do.
Yeah, and
But when you said prayer, I was like,
I don't think the world is taking it serious, because everybody
exactly.
assume.
That's what I'm thinking.
Everybody assume.
Said pray made me feel like You know, like it's just nothing else to do, but pray.
because they're at that level, you know. And I mean, there are different news out there. I mean, really reliable news, and including some of the media, those networks that really put some work to it. But they always, when it's so important, they got to cover it because it's a short cover.
Mm.
They don't want to make it a big deal, but it's a big deal.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know, about
But
Russian and Chinese,
mm,
there were information by the Alaska area. Information with destroyers.
yeah, yes, I heard about this as well. But
Yeah, but the national media covered it very short clip.
mm-hmm.
That was 2 3 weeks ago. Okay, but now they saw the whole formation.
Oh, really?
Yes, and things that are you think is not there, and when you see the Security Council not making no sense, they see where you're headed. You can say whatever you want in the books because they're saying everything against whatever Hitler did, but guess what? Hitler never stopped, right? He just went ravaging the whole Europe. He never stopped. From the First War, Second World War. That's a lot of years. So if that happened, and we're not learning from history, and everybody is saying, hey, we got to bring it to the table because of one country, the world is not going to be destroyed. You understand? And it's a pride, and everybody wants, maybe that thing that we always said, reduction of the population,
Yeah,
which I was here, and unless you want to make it effective, then this world is not going to be habitable,
hmm.
let
But
alone to have very few people.
but you know what? I don't know. I don't know. I was just asking.
No, it's just, yeah, I just give you my own personal opinion. It's just
Oh no, of course, of course. So you think that?
a very, very strong prayers because the way they clash and the way, you know, I'm going to tell you, you drop that fire, it's going to burn down the house. And you say,
Yeah,
oh, it's just a little fire.
yeah,
And that little fire catches things and that catch up other things. And bam, you got the whole house on fire. You know what I mean? So I
yeah,
don't know. I don't know how the world is thinking now. Just looking at the leaderships, and I feel like they're all a bunch of cowards.
yeah. Honestly,
I
like
mean, this is going to destroy your home.
literally, literally thinking about thousands and hundreds
The
of
policies.
people
They're
dying.
thinking about the policies, and they're using the policies, and the policies when it comes to burning down the house, the policy is going to be burned down along with the house.
Yeah, everything.
Everything's gone.
But
So that for me, what I felt so really sad about it, and when all these things are flying, sanction and all that, everything is going to fly. And at the end of the stick, it's a European that's going to be suffering, and they signed for it. None of them is flinching. Guess who's going to get hurt? The people, the common people.
yeah,
You make a decision based on your pride, on your leadership,
yeah,
and influenced. Follow the money. You know, everybody, all the leadership that you see, if you look at the background, they're all rich.
yeah,
They'll be the first one to go on those what do you call that safety caverns. How about the people?
You mean bunkers?
Bunkers, yeah, of course. I don't want to say what he said it.
Man, that's what I'm saying. Like,
So, but
let's
by
think
the end, what's going to happen?
all you can.
Have you seen? If anything goes like that, what's going to happen? Africa is going to be inundated. They already got their things, and some of the stuff that they're probably setting up is for that purpose.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Like, you know, we have to
You
all,
understand?
but we have to work as well.
Hmm.
So I'm
I,
thinking,
I would say,
hmm?
prepare your visas. I say prepare your visas.
Man, let me tell you, as soon as I get the call, I'm gone. I'm not even gonna.
No, it's
Let me
just
tell you about it. I'm
I,
ready.
I, no. It's just the way everybody sign off on this.
Hmm.
You know, everybody says, "Oh, he's not going to invade. He's not going to invade." Yeah,
Yeah.
of course, and he
Yeah.
did, and it was,
Oh,
it
it's
has
not
a
gonna.
name, right?
Hmm.
It was tactical invasion, right? It was
Wow.
not invasion. It's tactical military operation. It was not invasion.
Yeah, I can't believe this.
That was the word. And after the word, from that point of tactical military operation, and to have for republic to be independent while in the war, okay, and then put the referendum on top of that. This is a fast moving train. Nobody saw it coming. They thought they did, but nobody saw it coming. That's going to conclude that way. You know what I mean? So, what's for me is it's like what's going to happen to Africa? Marie Antoinette and BJ, me and Rich got on this topic. Any comment?
They're probably sleeping.
Mm-mm. Marie Antoinette is still up.
Today is
Okay.
a day. I'm a little exhausted, but what I would say is so far, one of our biggest problems has been the desire of our leaders to join the club of the oppressors instead of using their ties with the oppressors to study them so they can defeat them.
Yep.
Now is not the time to play if you can't win them, join them. That shouldn't be part of that's not even a strategy.
Hmm.
That is, as you mentioned before, as Tunisia mentioned, just signing off the people, sacrificing the people.
Yep.
I
Exactly. It's exactly what it is.
The Stockholm Syndrome definition that I placed in the chat is the perfect description of all leaders who want to be part of the elite club.
That's true. It's exactly follow the money. Remember, Mary, I always say that. Follow the money. You'll find the information. Follow the money. And I don't know how the world is just sitting down. And for me, the day that I know there's the explosion uh, on those two streams, the whole Europe should come out. Fix it now. I would say fix it now. I don't care who did it, just fix it. Because winter is in, they cannot get too much under the sea. And that area freezes like crazy. I would come out, but I don't see any European coming out. You can say, oh, they're
They,
bluffing. You can
but
say they're bluffing or
Biggie,
anything else.
Biggie,
Yeah,
they're hostage, man. They're being held hostage. Who do you think gave
that's
them?
what I'm saying.
Who do you think gave them all of the machine power when they go into other people's countries and they go announce it how they overthrow people and all these things? It was America. They're being they're being muzzled by America. They can't say nothing.
That's what
And
that
Russia gonna thump them in their face.
no.
That's not gonna happen.
What I'm saying, Rich, we got our leadership that's messing up, right?
Yeah.
Let's say, if I lived in those part of cities, especially in Germany, I'll be the only one, you know, having a little poster that's gonna say, "Please fix the stream." You understand? It's the
Biggie,
people.
Biggie,
Seriously,
You understand? It's the people.
EU is now a US colony. That's the stage that we have reached.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. They can't say nothing because America have them by their necks, so they're not gonna say nothing for their own,
I'm, I'm
even for their
I'm
own.
not talking about, I'm not talking about on the leadership. I'm talking about the common person.
What the people? What the people gonna do? What the people gonna do? Honestly, that's why these are not democracies. These are representative democracies, and there's a big difference because they're disconnected from the people, and that's why Gaddafi was talking about in his Green Book all the time. How
Uh,
how they
he's talking about humanity and he's talking about peace.
yes, but
That's why they don't want to hear that
ex-
because
not only that, but he was also making people eye open to how these people call themselves democracies, but they're not even anything close to that, and that's why they was mad. Because if you read his book, he talk about it. So I'm telling you, Biggie. Once these leaders over there keep pushing in this direction, there's no way those people are gonna avoid getting caught up in that. Like, just I'm thinking to myself, just think about Europe being. Don't be surprised if Europe turned into Iraq in 2003.
yeah,
Because when them people
yeah.
start fighting with each other, it's all hell broke loose. Those people those people are calling their wars world wars for a reason, because they can't they take everybody and push them in it.
You
But
remember from those Friday night sessions you used to have, Rich, when you were a child, during worship, when they spoke about this statue made of different materials and a stone hit the statue, that was Europe that wouldn't be able to remain as one unit.
exactly, because Rome was the one that where was Rome? Which part of the body was Rome?
And I have to read it again. I don't remember, but I will. I will revise it and I'll let you know.
Actually, you know what? I could actually look it up right now while we're talking. Um,
It
but
was,
I know what you're talking
clay
about.
mixed with gold, mixed with iron, and
Yes, exactly.
it
I know what you're talking about.
disintegrated. That was Europe disintegrating.
Exactly, and isn't that's the same dream that I think what
In
his
the
name
book
is
of
again?
Daniel,
Daniel had that dream, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. I remember that. But
Um,
It, uh,
See
it was
how
a gold
Ursula
head.
von der Leyen is treating some of the European states. It's the same way they treat African countries.
yep.
That's the Babylon.
Yeah, I'm looking at the image right now.
Yeah,
It's
the head is gold. The body is
the
silver,
yeah. The breast and the arms are silver. The belly
silver, and
and
then
the thighs are brass.
and then the leg is wood.
The leg is feet and toes, and it says part iron, part clay. So it said Kingdom of Ten Toes are Italy, France, England, Belgium, Holland, Portugal, Prussia. I think they mean Russia, Austria, Spain, and Greece. Those are the 10 toes. That's where that was holding up everything, and now that's getting destroyed.
Oh, yeah, the 10 stars.
Yeah, the 10 toes, 10 toes.
Yeah, and the stars.
Oh, hmm.
And now they squeezed them. It started with 10 and then it went to 27.
Do you mean the stars in the flag? The European.
You mean the stars of David?
I think they have like 27, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Let me see how many
No,
stars there are.
we was talking about the toes of the big giant in Daniel's dream, the dream that Daniel
Right.
had.
But the European Union started small. But they didn't. Hold on. The stars.
Show me when you got it, Biggie. But that's what Marie Antoinette was talking about.
Yeah, it features a circle of 12 gold stars.
Well, you know what, man? That's so good because it's about time. Let me tell you, it's about time God throw that big giant ball and just break off your foot, let the whole body fall. We can deal with the rest. Don't worry.
And uh,
We can deal with the
I'll
rest.
bring it. I'll,
You know what? It's so interesting. You know what's so interesting to me? I can't believe these people was going around the world pumping up the chest, sanctioning people, causing the deaths of so many babies and stuff. And now Russia just pulled one plug from them and it's kind of over, you know. Wow. Look at how strategic and intelligence can put you above something that seems so much bigger than you. Just information, intelligent organization, strategic redistribution, all those things bundle up together as one, turn into a big thing. Look at how easy it is to knock something down that seems so much bigger than you. This is a David and Goliath story too. So it's gonna be.
And that comes back to the point you made on another stream, Rich. Don't just share information, use information. Strategy is important.
Yes, exactly. Like, but you see, I see like this also too, right? It's like it's so important to have not just not just people talking to each other and spreading information and using information, but a system that facilitates it. So it facilitates it, and it even recontributes to it after it collects whatever energy collects, and like a system that is not is not only dependent on human communication. You know, he also use those same positive feedback loops that people use in other things to manipulate our people. And that's a bad way to use it. But it's same way that fire can burn a village. You know, a fire can still be used to cook and feed a village. So it's just how you use that fire.
And that's what I told you. He said, "Oh, it's not going to burn down the house. No, it's no problem."
Huh?
You know, probably trying to do something with the fire, but you're in the house, and I'm going to tell you, hey, you know, you're going to burn down the house. Say, oh no, it's just fire. It's
Yeah,
controllable.
exactly.
And eventually, you end up burning down the house.
That's why.
And then what happened is, I told you. At the end, I say, I told you.
Exactly.
But both of us are at the house.
Exactly.
You know.
I also like that's why I can't understand how, like, I don't know, I just can't see why some of our people even think that we are not gonna have to do this somehow anyway. Like, are we gonna keep being diluted in everybody system? Like, as a people ourselves as a people, as an independent being, as some people that's different than everyone else, is being diluted into everybody else's system. Even Turkey, we probably diluted into Turkey's system when we in Turkey too. No one is looking out for. There's no African continental system that looks out for people. That's why there's so many East Africans in Saudi Arabia. Like the kind of crazy stuff that happen over there anyway. Because there's nothing looking out for them. Like, how can you have a Chinese in Nigeria being with a woman and she's being abused and you don't know about that? And then only when he tells her, we know.
Yep.
I mean, no, you see, no, that's a good time to make that's a good time to make an example of these people to let them know, like, there's somebody looking out for these people. You can't just come here and just do what you want these days. Even in the movies, I heard in a movie like years ago. I heard in this movie. The movie is still a popular movie until now. So many people watch it. It's called Sicario 2. the man said in the movie, literally, the man told the Somalian, "This is Africa. We can do whatever we want here." This man was in the movie. This man was some kind of CIA, NSA, them type of people that goes into places and cause gang wars and sectarian wars. And that's what the man said. And I'm saying to myself, who allowed this movie to be out there talking like that? Like that's not how we're gonna continue going. We're not gonna continue to be diluted into somebody else's system. So why are they putting out these images as if like that's how it's gonna be?
It's so funny that you brought that that kind of topic right now when they say whatever that this was I believe DiCaprio on Don't Look Up. The movie Don't Look Up.
Oh yes, I saw that movie.
Okay, and guess what? NASA this week, right? Actually, this week they collided a satellite with an asteroid, so it can move. They can move it, you know. And then NASA pushed down on their Twitter hashtag Don't Look Up, and I'm like, wait a minute. I saw this thing, and I just remember there was the movie Don't Look Up while the asteroid was coming. And I'm like, is there a message that we missed? And it's already hashtag Don't Look Up.
That's
you know,
funny.
I mean, that was on their Twitter on the NASA, and it just came in, and then there was a movie about it. While you have this thing, so NASA is using that same word. Don't look up, and people are looking at it while the asteroid is coming. It's like, no, it's gonna go away. Don't worry about it. The next thing is, you know, it will be in. And now we got this. You know, sometimes, you know, you try to use technology to move something that's always been there. I don't know how many years, and you try to nudge it to be a, you know, not. And they called it was almost a threat, and that really makes me wonder if they did the right thing, because that little asteroid came in by banging itself with another asteroid, banging with another one, and it came into Earth according to the movie. And now I see this really happening, sending us a kamikaze satellite, you know, to blow up on the asteroid. So there's a lot of crazy things that is still going on the side. So I don't know what it means for that. But the only thing that I would say, you know, let's pray, you know, at least the world can survive another millennium if anything goes down. I'll look up for the children that didn't even see what the world is about. So in that, BJ, you sit there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. What's your final thought? I'm about to close the session. I'm going to go around.
Keep letting other entities come in, start wars, conflicts with your brothers for a bowl of soup. I mean, if you're getting paid off by these other entities, how much money is a life worth? You've seen the same game played time and time again, and it all ends the same, and yet you still say, oh, please let me get in line because I want to be your puppet. And again, your people, your land is exploited and used time and time again, and your people get nothing in response for it. if your alliance is to any other country, then you need to be out of the country that you're in and living in that country that you love so much. If you don't love and respect the people have to say, okay, you don't like me, then I'm not going to support you. A puppet is a puppet. You have to look at these people and see where their allegiance is. If it's not with the people, we don't need you.
Thank you, BJ. It seems like Pi is telling me, "Where's everybody?" And it sounds like Biggie is in the islands with those cricket. Yeah, actually, I'm right outside, and it's raining. I'm catching some of that hurricane, little rain that came from
How was
south.
the weather up there?
It's kind of windy now. I can see my furniture up top from going from one side to another. Even though I bundled them up, I think one of them got broke loose. It's kind of windy.
But nothing too intense.
No, no, just
No,
rain. No. It was intense early, and now kind of settling down. So, Pi, anyway, if you got any last say, you can hop on and we'll close. Uh, Marie Antoinette,
Uh,
I'm with you.
yes, I just have a very brief last idea. Um, my prayers are for a financially independent Burkina Faso because they there is a history of receiving funds from France and Canada, and this is one of the main reasons for Burkina Faso's problems. So my prayers are with Burkina Faso, and one of my prayer requests is for it to develop its economy so it weans itself off the aid of France, Canada, and any other entity that does not wish them well.
Yeah, Burkina Faso had a lot of issues in the past, and it was always been controlled to the through France. So Mali is the one that really broke away and had the Russians in real quick. But Burkina Faso will have the CISO. I don't know how many coup d'etat that they had. Burkina Faso had so many. Let me see if I can find something about it. Uh,
So, Biggie, why is all the conflict in Burkina Faso keep occurring?
uh, because they really had a lot of influence. Because
Uh,
I have my story that I cannot disclose on this, but it's way corrupt, very corrupt uh, when it comes to the government structure and everything else. Basically, the as an example, the if they take one minister out, and the most powerful, let's say, is the minister of transportation, and everything falls under him, and he's got all the power. And now, the French comes and they will say, okay, we're going to manage to do this and that, and they will manipulate them, and it's been always like that. And new people that really had a close tie, direct, literally they walk straight to the into the government buildings, French government building, the prime minister, whatever. You know what I mean? But it's just crazy. In the first 27 years of independence, Burkina Faso soldiers staged. Listen, Burkina Faso soldiers staged 5 coups d'etat and 1 autogol.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And I don't know when this thing. Maybe this one is going to be the 6, number 6. and it's just always so many attempts. The last coup killed the famous Captain Thomas Sankara. He gave Burkina Faso its name, meaning land of the upright people. And even him, he got killed, Thomas Sankara. And so it shows that, and this thing's, is going over and over,
I mean, and again, it's like, when is people going to wake up and say enough is enough?
Again, we just,
is it that you're so used to a certain situation, you just keep repeating it over and over again, and the people do not benefit from it?
It's like I'm trying to find something that I'll give you the Burkina Faso natural resources, because that's where you see the money, right? There's gold, magnesium, zinc, copper, phosphate, limestone, bauxite, marble, pumice, salt. They got a lot of resource. And so that's where
instead of using those resources to empower your people, use it to empower someone else.
Exactly. So I just give you the list, Burkina Faso natural resources on what they have. It's crazy. And follow the money again. You know what I mean? Why is it so intense? So somebody's getting
really,
greedy.
I think maybe African leaders need to keep their behinds in Africa. Stop saying that, we got to go to the United Nations for blah blah blah. None of that stuff is doing any of you guys any good. Fix the problems in Africa first, and then go ship yourself off to whatever meetings globally floating around. Because you sitting in all these meetings is not doing anybody at home any good for a bunch of photo ops.
Photo ops, I like. Let me see. I'll give you another little.
Also, so why did Pi come in? What he talking about? We're crickets.
Yeah, he said he listened to the cricket on the background. All right.
We were acting like crickets, and you was just holding it down by yourself.
My cricket was out. There was no cricket on my side. I know that for sure. My cricket was not there. It was raining and windy. He's probably shivering, hiding.
No, but there was somebody, you could hear it. I didn't know who that was.
Oh, that's probably Ridge. Is Ridge?
Oh, okay. Oh, they must be out. It must be nice and warm. Oh, it must be so cool.
Again, I really want to thank everybody, and I just want to see one more thing that I'm probably going to share. See where we're at with our GoFundMe, because I saw some number. Again, please make sure that you share this GoFundMe for Swahili Nation One Africa. Nomika's in Korea, and we're getting some feedback, and Godspeed was there. I don't know if you guys watched the video, and this is what it looks like for us. Let's see. I'm going to share this, and all right. Here you go. This is what it looks like today. We got 4,222, and I really appreciate it. Appreciate the Pastor Israel also put in there. Gideon Brahani, Anonymous. Thank you so much again. I really appreciate that. Please make sure that you like this video, because every time that we put the like button, it puts us on another algorithm. So the more like, and when you like, we share, and as well subscribe. But like is the priority, and I hope everybody enjoyed our conversation tonight. And I want to personally wrote a prayer that passed it on, a few things that I had to deal with, and this prayer that I'm going to share with all of you, and we'll conclude our transmission. Okay. Again, please like, share, and I'll put a prayer in our closing. So I'll share also in WhatsApp, and this is the prayers that I came with. Our merciful Father, Xavier, touch us now with your healing hands. For us, we believe that your will is for us to be well in mind, body, soul, and spirit. As we pray for our dearest one, Marie Antoinette, my brother Izana, Kaku, Deborah, Kuku, Mika on his journey, and for all of us that need a prayer, please cover us all with the most precious blood of your Son, our Lord Jesus Christ, from the top of our head to the sole of our feet. Cast anything that should not be in us. We pray to heal and protect our families. In your name, Xavier, have mercy on us. We believe you heal Marie Antoinette, Kaku, Kuku, Deborah, Dr. Santeca, and those that really need our prayer, and bless them with the Holy Spirit. We trust in you. In the name of Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. Amen.
Amen. It's a beautiful prayer. We all need that.
Yes.
Yeah, and so pray among each other, pray for our families, and those of you that are in the comment section that supported us all the time, that's been there for us. May the precious Xavier bless you all and your family and protect you in this turbulence time that we're going. May you be safe with your families, because it's a very, very important week coming ahead of us, and for all of us to pray together and to be strong and support each other. And again, pass on your prayers for anybody, anything that you know. At least we know we got a creator, most precious Xavier, that listens.
Yes, yes.
If we don't. And by the way, it's free. It's free.
His love don't cost a thing.
It doesn't cost you a thing. All right. In that aspect, I appreciate Ridge, Tunaja that showed up, Marie Antoinette, and Marie, and as well, BJ. Thank you so much. And again, by next time, I'm going to have a quiet cricket, unless I bring him in.
No, we love the crickets because we're about to head into the cold winter.
Exactly.
You'll hear mice looking for a place to keep warm.
That's right. That's right.
No, give me the crickets. I'd rather have them than the mice.
Exactly. At least it's warm outside.
Oh, yes.
All right. Thank you so much again. Stay peace. Think clear.
Yeah, thank you as always, Vicky, for the support and love and all that you do for us and all that you do for Swahili Nation. Your impact is being seen worldwide. And your voice and your prayers and your support is so needed right now. The people know there's someone looking out for Africa as a whole and want it to become the mighty kingdom that it should be and will be.
Yep.
Mhm.
We appreciate that. All right, this is a wrap, and I'll see you tomorrow on my Diaspora show. Thank you.
Take care, Marie.
Okay.
Antoinette, be well and be safe.
Thank you. You too.
Be safe. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
And rest well. Rest well, Marie. Rest well.
Thanks, Pete.
Okay.
Yeah, and enjoy your chemistry.
Yep. All right. Good night.
Good night.